Hello everyone, and welcome to the Fictional Vortex. So we are back with an interesting movie on what if Naruto had the harem of blades and become king of Valkyrie Drive. But before we start, I just want to remind you to please subscribe to my channel and hit the like button if you enjoy my content. Let's start the story. Unknown location, at dawn. What the hell Datbeo? A voice yelled from inside a black rocket-propelled pod that traveled at top speed across the ocean. My name is Naruto Uzumaki Namikaze, and I'm a shinobi. Well, I used to be. Hell, I still am. I was a ninja that bounced from ninja world to ninja world, and would always depart, because I stick to my morals. Now I know you're thinking, a ninja with morals. You're like a mercenary. You don't have morals. Well, I do. Kinda. I'm not the type of guy that would leave those in need of help. I'm the type of guy that helps them, sees what they're really like, and leave the assholes to rot. Dark, I know, but when you get hunted like a fox in your own village, you tend to adopt a realistic view of the world. Speaking of foxes, I'm the Jinchuriki of Kurama, the Kyuubi no Kitsune. Cool, huh? Apparently the assholes in my village don't seem to think so, because they would beat the crap out of me whenever they catch me, despite the fact I was a kid. That's fucked up, right? Well, in all honesty, my life could have been infinitely worse, but that's another tale for another time. An island. Naruto managed to look through the window of the pod he was trapped in to see a big island. But the trees were so thick that he couldn't see through it. I became a ninja to prove them wrong, that I was a fox in human skin, the same fox that destroyed their village. But I learned the hard way that no matter how much you try, you can't change the ways of the old generation. And no matter what, the old generation influences the new generation well before the new generation ever gets a chance to make meaningful changes. Fucked if you do and fucked if you don't. Read. Guess that exile from Konoha after beating the crap out of the Uchiha pretty boy who I thought was a brother was a blessing in disguise. Fine. If Konoha want their spoiled, golden boy Uchiha, then they can have him. At least I got my first kiss from my other half, Hinata-chan, and got all my inheritance before the greedy civilian Council and Shinobi Advisory Board got a hold of it, and learned who my family was in the process. You can certainly bet that they will be quaking in their boots when they learn who I really am, but why do I even care now? To hell with Konohagakure no Sato and the Uchiha, and to hell with Root who attacked me while leaving, forcing me to kill them. I almost wish I got Granny Tsunade to leave with me. She was all packed up and even planned on taking treasures of Konoha that only the Hokage has access to. It would have been so epic to see Konoha chasing after her because she too. Okay, the Hokage hat which has the master control seal for all the village's defensive measures. After traveling for days, I came across the Mugen Tenshin village, and the ninja recognized me from my exploits in the lands of Wave, Spring, Tea, and Takigakure during my short tenure as a Konoha nin. After some rough testing and trials, they brought me into their fold, making me work as a bodyguard to Kasumi Haim, heir to the Mugen Tenshin, who I became friends with alongside Ayane-chan, a girl with a past similar to mine, Hayate, their brother, and Ryu, friend of theirs who usually visits them. Gah! Naruto yelled when his pod impacted with something. What the hell was that? He quickly found out as his pod melted, before it suddenly ejected him out and onto the island. Thankfully my presence, CE and influence prevented a repeat in history in terms of me and the Uchiha when Katsuragi and I freed Ikaruga from the chains that shackled her to the darkness that bind her. And kicking the crap out of her brother Masasume was becoming one of my favorite pastimes. The fact that he was the easiest pranking target I've had in years only made it harder to leave Katsuragi and Ikaruga when I left, because that became the point where our bond was truly forged in the fires of shinobi training. Aside from the newbies coming in like Asuka, Yagyu, Hibari, Fuma, Hijikata, Ayame, Seimei, and Muramasa, it was pretty uneventful. Aside from helping Kasumi take revenge for Hayate by killing Raida, and protecting her from new Kennen hunters, until a rival shinobi school attacked and took our super secret ninja scroll, but by that time, I was pretty delusioned about the whole necessity of good ninja, and evil ninja, and their role in drawing out the ultimate Yoma, Shin, and the fact that the higher-ups of the good ninja faction are downright hypocritical considering Homura's past. So after the shinobi battle royale between Hanzo, Gessen, and the Newly established Hebiho, I took my ball and left Hanzo without graduating to start my own business, with my own hours and choices of jobs I would take in terms of being the ultimate combination of a mercenary and a Yoma hunter, a devil hunter. And that's when the suits came, fucking tools with their fucking knockout gas. Oh shit, Naruto yelled, flailing his arms in an attempt to slow his fall. But it barely did any good as he landed on the ground on the feet but skipped along the ground that was sand and landed in a heap. Apparently it was discovered that I had a unique ability that is compatible with a female born with an A virus. Some kind of irregularity. Judging from the lecherous grins of some of the suits that kidnapped me, it must be something perverted enough to give the unreliable Arrow Senin a run for his money. Ow, I do know for a fact that I was supposedly born with some kind of irregularity that had the old monkey worried sick, and here I am, the first male with a certain irregularity only found in girls. Go figure. Wait, looks like I won't have to worry about any Nukenin hunters. Naruto mused as he got up and dusted himself off. Wonder if there's any ramen here. Naruto Uzumaki Namikaze type. Liberator. Rating. Awesome. Former ninja. All-round ramen slurping badass. Naruto is 5 feet 8 inches tall, has spiky sun blonde hair, sky blue eyes, a slender Adonis-like physique, 3 whisker markings on each cheek. And wearing an open orange jacket with black stripes and red flaming designs over a black form-fitting sleeveless muscle shirt, a red-clothed forehead protector with his Uzumaki clan symbol, a utility belt with various ninja tools, dark navy blue Anbu-style cargo pants, and black combat boots. No, of course they wouldn't have any ramen in a place like this, wherever this is. I gotta find my way off this rock, Naruto said as he walked the beach. Good luck with that, Kit. Need I remind you that we're on an island with no way off? A grumpy yet deep voice sounded off in his mind. Yes, I know. Thank you for keeping me informed, Furball. Damn non-chakra formed barriers preventing me from water walking back to freedom. Naruto snapped back as he looked around and failed to find a living soul. Little brat. Don't expect me to help you out anytime soon. Kurama, the Kyuubi no Kitsune growled at Naruto, before going back to sleep. Well, pretending to go back to sleep, only to entertain the view of watching Naruto struggle. Love you too, Furball. Naruto said before cutting the connection. It's too quiet. Naruto put this ninja senses on high alert as he stopped and observed his surroundings. He landed in a beach area with no one in sight and a deep forest to his side. Using his affinity to wind, he sensed a few hazards within the forest, but nothing to worry about. Except for being bitten by snakes and annoyed by bugs. Before he could plan his next move, he heard an explosion up above and turned to see a pod impact with what looked to be an energy shield. Is that how I entered this place? Damn, Naruto grumbled as realization set in. Well, that explains why I can't water walk beyond a certain point to leave this island, but I wonder how I can that is. What the? Naruto's eyes widened when he saw a small figure being propelled out of the pod the same way he was. Only his time, he sensed that the newcomer was unconscious. Acting quickly with a burst of speed augmented by wind chakra, Naruto ran to the landing point of the figure, who appeared to be a young girl, and managed to catch her in the nick of time. That was close. Naruto sighed in relief and looked at the girl. Oi. Are you okay? Holy crap. This girl's the envy of every kunoichi her age. Mirai's go ballistic if she sees her. What have her parents been feeding her? Or is this the side effect of the A virus and V virus? Naruto wondered as she imagined the fit Mirai would throw if she saw a girl like this who was chest and she's still flat. Still, how did an innocent girl like you get wrapped up in all this? Quote, Naruto set the girl on the sand and sat down himself, digging into his coat pocket and pulled out a box of Pocky. He then used his teeth to pull one out and chewed on it. Watching as the sun rose over the horizon. I wonder how the others are doing. Naruto mused as he thought about the people back home, Hinata-chan, Ino-chan, Anko, Kin, Karen, Tayuya. In Konoha, he knows that Hinata was doing okay, along with Anko, who had just a bad an experience in Konoha like him. Then there's Ino, a fellow florist and gossip girl, and Karen, a girl he saved from a bear back in the Chunin exams. And learned that she was his cousin from the Uzumaki clan along with Tayuya, who he took back to Konoha after the damned Sasuke retrieval mission. He also hoped that Gaara, his new surrogate brother and best friend from Sunagaku, was doing okay, as well as Itachi, who he knows in his gut from his time hanging out with him that he didn't kill the whole of the Uchiha clan as he claimed. Just the assholes. Ninja kill people after all, but we are all entitled to certain levels of moral code. Itachi's moral code is just a little lower than my own despite offending public opinion. They're okay. I can feel it. I can also feel that Sasuke is doing horribly, Naruto said to himself and smirked at the thought of Itachi thrashing Sasuke again. He looked to see a crab crawling back and up to the sleeping girl next to him. He watched in amusement as it snapped its claws in her face, with the sounds actually waking her up. Rise and shine, sleeping beauty, Naruto said, with the girl jumping up to a sitting position in fright after seeing the crab in her face. Calm down, it's just a crab, Dadbayo. He chuckled as the girl looked at him nervously. Who are you? Why am I? She asked before looking around. A beach. Where am I? Your guess is as good as mine, Naruto replied, and frowned when she flinched as if remembering something. Damn suits. He put a hand on her shoulder and gave it a gentle squeeze to calm her down, and helped her up. Come on, we better get moving, he said, with the girl nodding and followed him while latching onto his jacket. As they walked the beach, Naruto scowled as the hairs on the back of his neck stood up, getting the feeling that they were being tracked. Anyo, I didn't get your name, the girl said, tugging at his jacket. And do you have a phone? Naruto. Uzumaki Naruto, and I'm a ninja, Naruto said, pointing a thumb at himself, seeing no problem revealing his former occupation. Oh, and I have a phone, but there's no signal. Then again, he still feels like a ninja despite everything, as he showed her his iDroid profiler, with the screen saying, no signal. A ninja? They're really real? The girl asked in amazement. Of course they're real, just like samurai still exist, yet they don't let you common guys see them. Our world is secret after all. Besides, even if I tell you, no one would believe you. Naruto replied with a grin. Oh, the girl said as she started to take off her track jacket. It's so hot. Maybe that's the reason no one here at the beach, Naruto guessed, as he used his chakra to keep himself cool. But if you're really baking, then let's head into the forest. The shade will keep you cool. Plus, if we go through there, we might find people on the other side. He pointed at the forest. But the girl shook her head frantically. But it's probably totally full of bag, she wailed in protest. No way a little city girl like me can handle that. Seriously, Naruto deadpanned and sweat dropped. Hey, handsome, shorty. Naruto and the redhead turned to see two females in bikinis, with one of them with moderate-sized chest in a blue bikini, and the OT. Her with even bigger boobs in a banana yellow bikini. How's it going? You're by yourselves? Well, looks like there's locals after all, Naruto said as his companion's eyes sparkled with happiness and relief. And you two lovely ladies are. I'm Miyasato, and this is my partner, Kuzuki. The girl with the blue bikini introduced herself and her friend. And you are? I'm Naruto, and my friend here is. Thank goodness, she cried as she ran up to him while dropping her jacket, with Naruto picking it up as the two ladies jumped down from the rock they were standing on. Where are we? Would you mind lending us a phone with a signal? Instead, the Miyasato and Kuzuki took one look at the girl and suddenly burst into a fit of uncontrollable laughter, with the yellow bikini girl's chest bouncing about. It says, Virgin, on your shirt, Miyasato said before continuing to laugh. What? Naruto asked incredulously before looking at the redhead's shirt himself. The kanji on her shirt had the kanji for shoju, which translates to virgin. Kya, the girl squeaked as she covered her shirt, embarrassed. There's honest, and then there's that, Miyasato choked out as Uzuki held onto her to support herself from falling as the redhead sank to her knees, appealing to the neckbeards out there. That's not it. It doesn't say virgin. It's my last name, Tokonome. The redhead protested as she clarified the kanji. So, you're not a virgin, huh? Miyasato said as she managed to recover from her laughing fit. Hard to tell when look so innocent. Kuzuki added. Well, you weren't wrong about that. I am a virgin. Tokonome mumbled as she looked away, before shouting, but my name is Tokonome. Tokonome Mamori. Mamori Tokonome type. Extra rating. Adorable. 5 feet 1 lolio pie. Obvious virgin. Now that we introduced ourselves, would you ladies please tell us how we ended up on an island in the middle of nowhere? Naruto questioned, wanting to get things back on track. Before that, what are you two? Are you a liberator, and she's your extra? Miyasato questioned back, or could it be reverse? Kuzumi wondered with an interested look. What? Naruto sked dumbly with question marks bouncing on his head, as he was called a liberator from what he heard before being knocked out, but what was an extra? X. Mamori asked as well, as didn't know either. Looking at Naruto and back at the two, what are you talking about? Miyasato and Kuzumi looked at each other teasingly. Instead of telling, I'll show you. Miyasato said as he moved behind Kuzumi and wrapped her arms around her. With Kuzumi put her hand on Miyasato's head. Okay. This is too easy. Naruto shouted, raising his hands as Mamori began to be flustered. Right there. More. Kuzumi moaned out, with Mamori now covering her eyes and Naruto attempting to look away. They're perverts. The blonde and redhead thought together with Naruto attempting to avert his eyes with Mamori peeking through her fingers. Will you look at that? They're staring at you. Miyasato whispered sweetly to her partner and partly pulled off her bikini, revealed her huge tit. Oh God, I'm so turned on. Kuzumi moaned out loudly, with Miyasato going further by slipping her fingers into the bottom part of her bikini to rub her special place more. Hurry and do it. Oh man, Ero-sen. Nin would have a field day on so many levels, Ibeo. Hell, they're doing what Amu fantasizes about doing it. Miyabi. Naruto groans becoming a bit tight and rubbed his thigh. Easy, big boy, easy. You rang. Quote. No I didn't. Naruto yelled at his crotch. Mamori looked at him strangely through her fingers, with Naruto noticing and laughing it off nervously until Kuzumi let out an orgasmic yell. Suddenly, Kuzumi's body glowed before shifting into an orb and spiraling like a tornado until she formed into a strange contraption that looked like a triple-barrel projectile. What? Naruto yelled in absolute shock, pointing at the weapon while Mamori gasped in horror. Naruto was trying to figure out how the hell was that possible, when Miyasato pointed the weapon at himself and Mamori. Get it now. No we don't. Naruto bellowed at her while moving Mamori behind him. Will you please explain how the hell that happened? What he said. Mamori agreed, nodding furiously. I have no idea what's going on. Still haven't awoken yet, huh? Miyasato sighed in disappointment. Awoken? Naruto and Mamori asked together, with the former in frustration at the lack of answers. Naruto gritted his teeth as Miyasato pointed Kuzumi at them again, and was getting pretty angry at Miyasato's unwillingness to supply any information. Allow me to be your Prince Charming then, Miyasato said as she prepared to fire. Damn bitch. Naruto growled in distaste, wishing that he had his weapons. He doesn't have them due to being hit with knocking out gas thanks to the suit's tea. Hat kidnapped him after he turned in his resignation from the good ninja faction. Then, out of nowhere, the water exploded to their side, drawing their attention as a pod sped towards them. Another one. Naruto gaped as the shield was once again active. Cue the pod impacting the shield, with the pod then ejecting the newcomer through the shield, just like Naruto and Mamori. Time seems to slow as the occupants of the beach stared at the newcomer flying toward them, with said newcomer suddenly flipping through the air with multiple revolutions before landing in front of Naruto and Mamori, with the former moving the latter out of the way. What the hell? Miyasato asked, stepping back. Did you just drive? The young woman didn't answer as she looked back at Naruto and Mamori and raised her arms as if to shield them. As Naruto blinked at her, wait a sec, Mirai-chan, is that you? Naruto asked, putting a hand on her shoulder. The girl named Mirai looked back at Naruto again, this Tim. With a small smile before looking back at Miyasato with a glare. Mirai Shikishima type. Liberator rating, soldier. A pure-hearted fighter. Huh, what are you doing, you three friends? Miyasato demanded curiosity. No, I never met her before. Mamori replied before looking at Naruto. Naruto-san. Yeah, we go back a while. Just like me and a select few I know, she's a fighter. Naruto answered with a smile. I see. Whatever. It doesn't matter. 1, 2, 3, it's all the same. Miyasato said with a shrug and arrogant smirk, show me what you got. Move. Mirai quickly grabbed Momori and Mo. Ved out the way along with Naruto as Miyasato opened fire with Kuzumi. They dodged it. Miyasato asked in shock before opening fire again. None of the shots hit home as Naruto and Mirai, the latter still holding Momori, weaved in and out of the shots until the barrage ended. How? Miyasato complained. Kuzumi's bullets were nearly fast as the speed of sound, and they should have connected, so how? Naruto dusted himself off and looked at Mirai. With her with him, Miyasato would be nothing but a pushover, and he would finally be able to get some answers. It's okay, Mirai-chan. She's a virgin, Naruto said teasingly and chuckled as he clapped her back. Naruto-san, Momori wailed, really embarrassed. Is now really the time for harem shenanigans? Miyasato shouted in anger as she shifted Kuzumi's barrels and fired a rocket at them. Eat this. Mirai-chan, Momori-chan, Naruto shouted, moving in front of them to protect them with his body. The rocket impacted on the ground right in front of him, causing it to explode and sent him and the girls flying. Seriously, get a room, he groaned before Momori glowed pink. Huh. The wind blew about, obscuring Naruto's vision once again, who used a lightning jutsu to shock his body to move and land on his feet. Wind style. Great breakthrough. Naruto shouted, summoning squall of wind to blow away the dust. His jutsu wasn't the only one that caused the wind to be violent, as a pulse of energy collided with his jutsu, canceling it out, with Mirai bursting through with a sword in hand and looked at Naruto knowingly, with the latter understanding as he got into position and spun around, once again releasing wind around his person. Secret fusion ninja art. Mirai strike. Quote, Mirai positioned herself, with Naruto whipping out his leg, and with Mirai landing on his leg, launched Mirai towards Miyasato. The wind cleared the dust enough for Naruto to see a huge explosion, followed by Miyasato and Kuzumi, who returned to normal. Sent wailing through the air with her bikinis destroyed, leaving them completely naked as they landed hard on the sand. Just like old times, Naruto said, jumping toward the rock Mirai landed on and fist bumped with her. Where's Momori-chan? Mirai just looked at the sword in her hand, with Naruto's eyes following and sighed. Well, that's a thing, Naruto said, grabbing Momori and examining her. Looks like there's more to this world than meets the eye. End of Chapter 1. Next time. Chapter 02 Episode 01, Part 02 of 02 Naruto the Liberator. After chapter notes. With this release, my personal challenge begin. My next update for this will come this Saturday. Part 1s will be released Wednesdays, and Part 2s will be released Saturdays, when the next Valkyrie Drive episode comes out. The time for overcoming my laziness starts now. Valkyrie Drive. I can't wait to see more. The first episode started out strong, and delivered on its genres of action and Yuri. There's Seiryu. Sly need to be a Senran Kagura x Valkyrie Drive crossover in the future. I also gave a shout out to Senran Kagura 2 that just released here in the States, with Naruto and Mirai using a variation of Katsuragi and Hikage's tag team finisher. Speaking of crossovers, Naruto will have multiple girls' weapons, and they'll be from other series, for example. S and Nobody x Blaze Blue spin-off Yukikaze Panatona, Dog Days. Ignis Jingai Makyu, Nitro plus Blasters, Heroines Infinite Duel Plusha Iris Heart Hyperdimension Neptunia. S Death Akame ga Kill Rider Medusa Fate Stay Night Rias Grimoire. Y High School DxD Ikaros Heaven's Lost Property. Tsubaki Nakatsukasa Soul Eater Ryofu Housen Ikitosen. If you have any other suggestions, feel free to leave some, with the name of the girl, the series they're from, and the weapon they should become. Keep in mind that they might not all make the cut. And if you enjoyed this update, please favorite, alert, and review, for it adds fuel to my momentum. Tell your friends and all that jazz, and I'll see you next time. Yane. Unknown LS Land. After the fight, Naruto and Mirai trekked through the forest, with Momori on the latter's back. For Naruto, his mind was half with this as he conversed with the fox inside them. My complex life was supposed to become so simple. Retire as a ninja, thereby sticking it to everyone giving me orders throughout the years. Become a devil hunter, a specialized merc and Yoma hunter. With my own choices in mission and hours, and become strong enough to kick the Akatsuki's ass to kingdom come. Instead, I find myself on an island where girls can turn into weapons. What could possibly top that Datbeo? Naruto thought and rubbed his head. Still, this is pretty interesting. I hate to think what would happen if scum like Danzo found out about this. The consequences would be catastrophic, and should stay fiction for the betterment of any and every concerned party. Kurama told him seriously. You're not wrong about that, furball. All the more reason to hunters tracking me here with everyone around me paying the price of my seemingly cursed presence. Naruto muttered with a frown. You get mad at idiots underestimating you. Kit, don't become a hypocrite. I'm sure the girls here can handle himself like the bikini ladies. Kurama prodded him and nudged Naruto's mental avatar with a furry finger. I'm not being a hypocrite. Kurama, I can't help but worry. No matter who I meet and what they can do, there is still that small part of a person that can't help but be shocked in seeing an actual chakra using shinobi in action for the first time, and that can get people killed. Naruto snapped as he dodged Kurama's attempts to poke him. All the more reason to become stronger to protect those you hold dear. Like your girls back home, Kasumi and Ayane, the ladies of the Zenin and Akunin factions, and the hotties of the fighter community like Mirai with you, as well as Ryofu. Kurama said with a grin. Right, Naruto said and sighed. Also, in my opinion, Kit, you could use the downtime and sample the goods here, if you know what I mean. Kurama said, knowingly with a mental wink, causing Naruto to sputter. Ero Kitsune, Naruto groaned. Bo Chika bow wow, says the guy who unintentionally captures the hearts of almost every lady he sees and scratches their itches. Poor Kasumi, Ayane, Katsuragi, Akaruga, and the other lovely ladies must be missing your ass, and Naruto Jr., something terrible on an epic scale. Kurama countered and laughed at Naruto's expense. Easy, you big fuzzball. I'll worry about that after we get the hell out of here. Naruto said, flustered, and cut the connection. Yes, it's true. Unlike Momori, who was slowly beginning to wake up on Mirai's back, Naruto is not a virgin. At all. After all, being surrounded by girls, he was bound to lose his V card sooner or later. Next thing he knew, he had a harem, a fact that Kurama had to point out to a dense Naruto, who found himself luckily that there were girls who were open to sharing him, like Katsuragi, Ayane, and Housen Ryofu, the latter a fellow fighter, and all three are still in competition for the title of the alpha in Naruto's harem. I hope I can get a message out to them as soon as I hack into the communications network here. Naruto mused as Momori made a noise. What happened to the scary ladies? She asked, looking around to see that they were in the forest. Are we safe? For the moment. As for the scary people, who cares? Naruto replied and looked at Mirai, who stared back. Don't mind her. She doesn't talk much, and for the moment, we're safe. Quote. Mirai nodded in agreement at Naruto's statement. Thank you very much. Momori said, do we know where we are yet? Quote. Mirai shook her head, answering her both herself and Naruto. I see. Oh, sorry, but I can walk now, so you can stop. A hissing sound interrupted her, with Naruto and Mirai stopping in their tracks. Snakes. Why did it have to be snakes? Naruto groaned as they found themselves surrounded by a horde of snakes of all kinds slithering along the ground. He hated snakes. Well, not entirely. For the only snakes he liked were tamed by his Hebihime, Anko, back home. I take it back. Don't put me down. At least until there aren't any more snakes. Momori wailed as a snake crept dangerously close to her thigh and took a lick. Momori squeaked and hugged herself tightly against Mirai's body, who looked concerned. Okay, fuck this, run, Naruto yelled after dodging a snake. Naruto then took off with Mirai following closely behind. It took a while, but they were finally out of the forest. The threesome then trekked across the mountain terrain. What a day. Kidnapped by suits, ended up on an island. Made a lowly opai friend, girls turning into weapons, reuniting with Mirai-chan, and snakes. What else can happen today? What else? Naruto said as he led his ragtag group to wherever they were people. Where are we going? Momori asked meekly. Naruto just gave her a deadpan look, pretty much conveying to her that he has no idea. Oh, never mind, sorry, Momori said and looked away, wiping tears from her eyes from the blowing wind. It's all right, Datbeo. You have nothing to apologize for, Naruto said, smiling at her. He then looked at Mirai, who kept her eyes on Momori. Looks like Mirai-chan fancies Momori-chan in more ways than one. Naruto mused to himself. A while later, they finally reached the top, with Naruto and Mirai coming to a stop, followed by Momori. T.O. discovered a huge castle structure just a few clicks away. A castle, Momori asked before squealing with joy. There must be people there. We're saved. Wait, Momori-chan. Not so far, damn it. Naruto groaned. Momori-chan. Wait up. Shaking his head, Naruto went after her, with Mirai following close behind. As the castle became closer, Naruto tried to make sense of what happened with the pairings of Miyasato and Kuzumi. And Mirai and Momori, with how Miyasato and Mirai turned their partners into weapons. It seems that when those like Momori and Kuzumi reach the height of pleasure and ecstasy, they shift into their weapon forms, at least what Naruto could sense from his all-emotions sensing. Due to his training with himself with assistance from Kurama back in Konoha, Naruto developed the negative emotions sensing ability, which after leaving Konoha and gaining a good measure on all the various emotional states of himself and those around him, the blonde Uzumaki managed to become a full-blown empath, allowing Naruto to sense all emotions aside from the negative ones. And boy did pleasure and ecstasy rolled out in waves from Kuzumi, and later Momori, with a bit of confusion mixed in from the latter. As they crossed the bridge and entered the castle, Naruto realized the meanings of the terms liberator and exter, and their roles to each other. He just wished that someone would give him a straight answer. How hard was it to say that liberator's, free, exter's weapon forms via ecstasy? He could have gotten a clue there, and it would have been much more easier to understand. Though chances are that clue might have landed him in some girl's bedroom. Hello. Anyway, home. Momori's voice shook Naruto out of this thoughts, and he found that they were in the inside of the castle. I can sense that people are occupying the castle, but they're not the problem, Naruto muttered before his sensitive shinobi-trained ears caught the distant sounds of grinding gears from below. Move. Naruto backflipped away with Mirai quickly grabbing Momori and sped back alongside her fellow blonde, just as panels shot up from the floor and around them in a circular formation, trapping them in the area like an arena, with Naruto and Mirai back to cover their blind spots. Then, from above, they heard the sound of rave cheering, and looked up to be an audience full of girls wearing what appeared to be school uniforms, cheering and waving at them. Looks like we were expected, Naruto said, casting a glance at Momori, who had Mirai close to her. Damn it. What kind of island, paradise did we end up in? He was interrupted by whirring sounds from behind, causing him, Mirai, and Momori to turn and see two girls rising from a platform through the floor. Now what? Naruto asked, exasperated before blinking in surprise at the appearance of the second girl, Ohaiwa. Naruto gaped at the two girls before him and his group. The first girl had wild black hair with an eye patch and wearing a school uniform one size too small, and in her hand was a chain collar that was connected to collar that second girl was wearing. She has dirty violet hair with red ribbons, and in addition to a regular school uniform, was wearing bindings usually found in a BDSM dungeon, with a bar in the girl's mouth and her hands cuffed behind her back. Why, you three there, are you the new blood? The eye patch girl asked. Depends, Naruto replied, stepping forward as Mirai shifted Momori to get behind her. Who's asking? Seijima, a rank knight, and depending on right now. Your resp girl named Seijima replied and licked her lip, eyeing Naruto like a piece of meat. You're the first boy to be just like us. Liberator, exter, it doesn't matter. Regardless, I will make you mine. Sorry, but I've already been taken by girls who are better looking than you, Naruto said, looking at her disgust due to the state of her partner. That and they can kick your ass, Datbeo. I like that verbal tick. No matter. Let's get started already, Seijima shouted and pulled the chain in her hand. I've got a lot of stress to work off. With one tug, the poor girl was thrown to the ground with her butt sticking out, with Momori gasping in horror at the inhumane treatment. It was made worse when Seijima raised her foot and stomped on the girl's exposed nether regions, making her cry out in pain. "What do you think you're doing? Stop that," Momori cried, trying to get past Mirai. "No way, I'm standing around and doing nothing while this happens," Naruto snarled as he prepared to charge forward to kick the eyepatch girl's damn head off. "Oh, don't get the wrong idea here, handsome. It's a necessary ritual," Seijima told them over the moans of the girls beneath her, stopping Naruto in his tracks. "Otherwise, she can't get aroused. After all, she's a hardcore masochist." Naruto was speechless, as a certain pair of twins from Hebiho sprang up in his mind. "I need to hurt somebody. Now, badly, more than they can take. Quote, come on, spank me, hit me, call me dirty names, and then ignore me when I cry. Quote, Kit, keep Ryobi and Ryona as far away from these. E2 as humanity possible," Kurama sounded off, with Naruto wholeheartedly agreeing. "There's enough girls like Ryobi and Ryona to give the whole world a headache." "You said it, Kurama." Quote, then, the girl getting off on the abuse glowed a fiery blood red before forming into a flame that covered Seijima's left arm as she grabbed at it. Seijima, licking her lip, let out an insane laugh as blood spewed from her arm as a bright light engulfed her. When it died down, Seijima's arm was covered in an armored purple, red, and yellow oversized gauntlet with a huge morning star mace attached. "It's the same," Momori murmured, remembering the way Miyasato turned Kuzumi into a weapon. As back then, Naruto finished for her as he got into a fighting position to defend Momori and Mirai. "Crap, no wa. Why we're talking ourselves out of this one. You're a pretty good liberator arm for a bitch, that'll do anyone," Seijima said, looking at her weapons before turning her attention to the three newbies. Her bloodlust radiating off her in waves. "Now then, let's rock." "No choice then. If it's a fight you want, a fight you'll get," Naruto yelled as he unclipped his pouches. He may not have his weapons, but he still had his jutsu and ninja tools. Naruto and Mirai, with Momori vs Seijima, with masochist girl, let the battle begin. Naruto fired off a barrage of shuriken towards Seijima, who dodged with her weapon and fired the mace at him. Naruto crossed his arms and took the brunt of the attack, but the force was so strong that he was lifted off his feet and propelled towards the wall. Worse, he was on a collision course with Mirai and Momori, but thankfully Mirai picked up Momori via bridal carry and leapt away with her in tow. "Stop running and fight. Let me see your arm," Seijima screamed as she went on the attack again. Mirai evaded her attack, with Naruto running past her while weaving hand seals. "Fire style. Great fireball jutsu," Naruto yelled, expelling a huge ball of fire that shocked the onlookers as Naruto weaved through a second set of head seals. "Wind style. Great breakthrough." Quote, Naruto expelled a violent wind that interacted with the huge fireball, causing Chi to morph into a wall of flames that Seijima braced herself against her partner, while wondering how the male blonde was doing what he was doing. With no time to dwell on it, Seijima managed to jump out of the way. With Naruto close the distance with an orb of spiraling chakra in his hand. Rasengan. Quote, "I don't know how you're doing that, but your little trick ends now," Seijima yelled as she her mace to block Naruto's Rasengan and parry it, forcing Naruto to cancel out the Rasengan and land on the wall with his 2 feet. "You'll find I'm full of surprises," Naruto declared as he landed on the ground and went after Seijima again, who kept her eyes on him while firing her mace at Mirai. "No you don't." Raising his hand, Naruto shot out a chakra chain from the palm of his hand, a trick that was inspired from the Mortal Kombat movie where one of the characters, Scorpion, did a similar thing in his fight against Johnny Cage, and knocked the mace away. "Now," Naruto said, drawing the chain back, "get over here." Naruto shot the chakra chain directly at Seijima, and wrapped it around her arm. With a tug, Naruto pulled Seijima close to him with a Rasengan in hand. "Not this time, Blondie," Seijima snarled, drawing back her arm and punching forward, the momentum adding to force of her blow as Naruto blocked again, but was sandwiched on the wall. Seijima then drew back and threw Naruto to the ground opposite of the wall he was pinned on. "Ow!" he groaned. "Naruto-san," Momori cried out, Damn it Kit, stop holding back and kick her ass. Kurama boomed in Naruto's head as Sage. Ima finally separated Mamori and Mirai and sent them sprawling. Better yet, use that ability they claim you have as a liberator. Use those two as weapons to take out that eye patch bitch. Quote, easier said than done. Naruto groaned and winced after getting up and looked at his right arm. It was dislocated. It's no fun playing with people when one only fighting while their friends don't fight back. Sagima complained as she walked up to a defenseless Mamori. If I do what you're suggesting you do, I might as well be labeled a pedophile. You know that, right? Naruto deadpanned. How the fuck, can you be considered a pedophile when that Mamori girl has jugs that Mirai dreams of having? Plus, the age of consent is 14, and, when you became a ninja, you're considered an adult. Now stop thinking about it and reset your arm. I'll handle the rest. You just do the thing and wipe the floor with that bitch and her slave. Kurama ranted with a loud roar. Well, when you say it like that, Naruto deadpanned before clenching his teeth and held his injured arm. Time to grit these teeth. And just do it. With a push, Naruto growled and stamped the ground with his foot after resetting his arm. And already feeling the effects of his Uzumaki healing factor and Kurama's own healing factor quickly healing his arm. As this happened, Sagima pulled a throttle on her arm, making a revving sound as spikes poked out of the mace. But I don't mind smashing your face in. Sagima roared as she brought her weapon down. Gate of opening. Kai. Naruto yelled, releasing the restraints of his bi. Rain on the muscle so 100% of his strength can be used. With a burst of speed, Naruto ran towards Mamori, but Mirai got to her first at impossible speed. Despite that, Naruto reached and grabbed both of them before using Hiraishin. One of his father's jutsu, to escape the death blow and reappeared a few feet away. We should surrender. Mamori coughed out weakly, maybe they'll be nice if we go out quietly. Naive wishful thinking, Kurama grumbled. Shut up, fuzzball. Naruto yelled at his tenant as Sagima gave a killer grin at them. Naruto and Mamori looked surprised as Mirai finally spoke for the first time since coming to the island. There's no future as that direction, is that right, Naruto? Naruto just groaned and rubbed the back his head. He then made a noise as if finally settling on something. Mirai-chan, do you trust me? He finally asked, looking at her in the eye. Without question, Mirai instantly answered, do you trust me with Mamori-chan? I see no reason not to. Right, Naruto said before making his favorite hand seal, Shadow Clone Jutsu. Quote, everyone besides Mirai was shocked to see a small army of chakra to hold off Sagima, and wondered if he was some kind of ninja. Well, to be honest, he is. What the hell is this? Sagima shrieked as the shadow clones swarmed and attacked her. Let's get this over with. The sooner we're done the better. Whoa. Naruto faltered when he turned and found quite the amazing sight, in the form of Mirai kissing Mamori, awfully passionately. What the hell? How is no one saying anything about this? How is everyone looking at this like this is normal? Naruto thought as his pants felt tight again when Mirai caressed Mamori's thigh close to her special place. You rang. Quote, no, I didn't. You'll know when I really have a clue to find. Naruto yelled at his crotch, catching a few odd looks from the female audience. Fusion trans, Mirai declared, holding Mamori who glowed pink with cherry blossom petal flying about. Liberator arm. Quote, Naruto, stop yelling at your crotch and put those magic hands to use. Your clones are starting to drop like flies. Kurama yelled at him, drawing attention to Sagima who were starting to counter the clones. Do the thing, now. Quote, fine, Naruto yelled before cutting the connection, just as Mamori transformed into her sword form in a burst of blue flames. Mirai-chan. Mirai turned her attention to Naruto to went up to her, Naruto. Sorry about this. And it was working. Take responsibility. Mirai moaned out, submitting to the ONL. Why male in the world ever allowed to touch her body, and finally cried out in ecstasy as Naruto rubbed her nether regions, Quote, you know I will. Now let's win. Naruto said as words formed in his mind, fusion trans. Liberator arm. Quote, Mirai's body glowed yellow before bursting into red flames, shifting into a black and gold broadsword that contrasted with Mamori's silver sword form. twirling them around. Naruto got into a battle stance. Finally ready to play. Too bad, Seijima said, her mind clouded with bloodlust before firing the spikes from the mace at Naruto. Kept you waiting, Hadatbeo. Naruto sneered, but blinked when Mirai and Momori's faces appeared in his field of vision, before they miniaturized and shifted to the top corner of his vision. Naruto charged at her and effortlessly deflected the spikes. Then he drew a small circle with the tip of Momori and Mirai, while nearly closing the distance. Don't get so cocky, Seijima snarled while firing the mace. Naruto didn't bother to dodge as the mace made contact, blasting him off his feet and into the wall away from Seijima, who grinned, knowing that she finished him. But just as that thought passed, the Naruto who she struck suddenly faded away into a hazy mist, with the real Naruto right behind her in the air, in a stance as if finishing a Hisatsu strike. Yagayu Shinkage. Ryu. The first blade, residual moon. Naruto grinned as she flicked Momori and Mirai with style, as cracks appeared on Seijima's arm which glowed. What? No, my arm, she screamed before it exploded in a fiery red light. Finish. Naruto landed on the ground with a front flip with Momori and Mirai in a reverse blade grip, nonchalantly looking back at the explosion as surprised murmurs filled the area. That's how you send a message, Naruto muttered. Naruto lightly threw Mirai up in the air, as she transformed back into her human form. Naruto smiled at her, with Mirai returning with a small one, before handing Momori back to her. With Momori in Mirai's hand, she glowed as well before changing back into her human form. What did you do to me? Why? Momori whined, with the kiss fresh on her mind. My first time. Apparently it was on Mirai's mind as well, since she looked away with a blush. You're fine. We just managed to beat that scary lady and her pet, Naruto told her before realizing that her shirt was showing. A Momori-chan. You might wanna cover that. Ah. Naruto sighed as one of the girls from the audience finally noticed said shirt. Look. Look at her. It says, Virgin, on her shirt. Ma'am. Ori cried out as the sounds of laughter filled the area. What the heck? Are you proud of that or something? Laughter. You're wrong. This is my name. It says, Tako no Mi. Momori cried as she Nally covered her shirt with her jacket and stood up. That will never go away anytime soon. Naruto mused as he sat next to a still blushing Mirai, things like about to become every. Interesting. Mirai could only nod in agreement. But Naruto had a sneaking suspicion that she was barely listening while looking at Mirai. Listen to me please. It's Tokono Konoha, a few years ago. Excuse me, you wanna run that by me again? Ya old fart, Naruto asked roughly, glaring at the shinobi advisory board. Mind your tongue, demon brat. The Warhawk Danzo Shimura commanded warningly. The very same demon brat that brought back Sasuke when he was defecting. That mission was to bring him back by any means necessary. Since he was resisting, I had to do what I had to do. Had I not done that, Sasuke would be in sound. Not Konoha, Naruto exclaimed, pointing in the direction of the Konoha hospital. He was supposed to be unharmed, you damn demon. Homura Mitokado shouted, banging his fists on the table. Unharmed. How about you go back in time and take my place fighting him while he's in that cursed seal state, and let me know how that turns out. Naruto challenged, unintentionally flaring his chakra with a quick burst. How dare you? Kaharu Yutahane started angrily. Enough. The room shook as a fist was slammed down. Oi, Granny Tsunade, are you really going to let them do this? You really want Konoha to be known for banishing ninja who complete their missions to the letter? Last I checked, bringing back Sasuke unharmed was not in the mission parameters. Bringing him CK alive by any means necessary was the objective. Do you really want Konoha setting an example to Kumo on the banishment of Jinchuriki for that matter? You know, I have no plans of joining them, but they will hunt down the Kyuubi relentlessly and they will be at Konoha's doorstep with the recent power vacuum in this village, Naruto told her, as he never forgotten the orders from her own mouth. Find Sasuke, and retrieve him. If resisting, use of force is granted, but bring him back alive. I know Naruto, but it's out of my hands. Tsunade said sorrowfully, just turn in your headband. Naruto scowled at her, Then at the clan heads, who looked neutral, and then at the Shinobi Advisory Board and the Civilian Council, who looked smug at their victory and completely uncaring of the future of Konoha without a Jinchuriki to protect the village. Shaking his head, he pulled off his forehead protector, before he grinned, confusing everyone in the room. He dropped it on the floor before putting his foot down in it, smashing it into pieces and grinded his foot in it. Consider this my resignation then. I am so looking forward to hearing the fallout of this, Naruto said, sneering at old generation before frowning at Tsunade. As for you no, Tsunade. I'm disappointed in you. From the stories I heard about you, I thought that you would never bend to those vultures. I was wrong. Here is the great Tsunade of the great Senju clan, blessed with her super strength, only to reveal her true nature as a weakling who can't overpower her council and her own advisors. It's definitely time for a change in scenery. Datbeo. Naruto turned on his heel and stormed off, raising the middle finger and leaving a shell-shocked and ashamed Tsunade while the clan heads glared at He Civilian Council and the Shinobi Advisory Board who were screaming at the now former Konoha ninja to come back and face their judgment. No matter. They had no power over him. I had strings, but now I'm free. Naruto mused in a sing-song voice as he left the Hokage Tower with a power walk. About damn time too, Kid, Kurama agreed with a toothy grin. An hour later, Naruto had his things packed and his old apartment emptied, with all his valuables in a backpack. Gone was his whore now, jumpsuit and replaced with an orange, red, and black jacket and Anbu-style pants with a black shift with a red spiral in the front, with blue ninja sandals, and the backpack on his back. On his hip is a katana he bought from Tenten's family weapons shop, which was forcibly on the house by Tenten's father, in thanks for saving Tenten from being rode by rogue ninja during the mission to get Tsunade. Speaking of Tsunade, she came to see him off. Naruto, I'm sorry about my disrespect to you, Granny Tsunade. But I had to put on a show to make it appear to cut all ties with you to show that I had nothing left here in Konoha. He apologized. You're not weak, you're strong. It's all right, I caught on. To be honest, I knew your potential was restricted here in Konoha, and it's for the best that you're now legally outside the village with the fox. That way, you'll be out of the thumb of the Count C. L and Akatsuki can't get to you or Konoha. Hell, you'll be safer outside the elemental countries and the western lands. Tsunade explained before giving him a hug. You'll do fine. I know you well. I trust that you're better by yourself than with that arrow. Baka, I doubt Arrow Sennin would teach me anything. Thanks for trusting me. Hell, I might return and make you proud, Naruto said with a cheeky grin. You better. Besides, you have several special girls looking to test out that Uzumaki stamina in the future. Tsunade countered with a wink. Good luck. Geez, who's the pervert again? Naruto mused as Tsunade left. Naruto. Naruto turned towards the familiar voice and smiled. Gaara. Temari and Kankuro too. What's up? I thought you liked to know that we didn't agree to the new alliance, with backing from the Wind Daimyo. I also heard that the Fire Daimyo is coming here to Konoha in response after completing his investigations regarding your missions with the Uchiha and allegations of falsifying their records. Gaara informed Naruto, who smirked. They're going to face the music all right. Shame I won't be here to see it, Naruto said airy as he looked to the front gate. True, but they will, Gaara said gesturing behind before taking off with his siblings. Good luck in your future endeavors, Naruto. Naruto looked at Gaara's retreating back, and then turned to see Hinata, Ino, Kin, Karen, and Anko. Come to see me off too. Hinata, in a wreck at seeing her beloved being forcibly banished, ran to him. When they got close, Naruto wrapped his secret lover in a hug and kissed her. Island, unknown location, present. Naruto's eyes snapped opening, awakening him from the dream of the past. Hinata-chan, Ino-chan, Kin-chan, Karen-chan, Anko-chan, Chiyuya-chan. He murmured. Before finding his voice hoarse and coughed. He blinked to clear his eyes from the blurry vision to find himself lying on a huge branch and his back on a thick tree, with his body racked with pain that was slowly starting to fade. He was about to try and get up when something landed in front of him. Oh, you're awake, you're awake. Who? Naruto groaned, reached out with the blonde catching his hand. Here, drink this. You need your energy, that you do. the blonde said and lifted a cup of liquid to his mouth. No worries, it's water. Drink. After some prodding, he finally drank, but Naruto felt that the water was enhanced in some way. Before he could push the girl away, he felt the pain going away as if his healing factor accelerated. Nothing like a little water from the Helen G-spring of the mysterious sixth island to get you back in the game. That you do. The girl said as Naruto looked amazed after feeling the effects. How are you feeling now? Like more than $1,000,000. This is amazing, Naruto said as he flexed his finger in one hand while rubbing the back of his head with the other. Really? Thank goodness. The blonde squealed happily. Do you remember anything? Like what happened after you fought Seijima Dono with your girlfriends? Seijima, girlfriends. Naruto repeated before said events rushed through his head. Oh tilde. Flashback to Castle Arena, after the fight. A virgin? Seriously? Quote, hey, I know it's confusing, but the kanji for my name is read as Tokonome. Mamori tried to tell the onlookers. Is her name really Virgin? I don't think anyone's listening, Naruto commented as the laughter continued. That said, if you were to ask me if I was a virgin or not, I am absolutely a virgin. Mamori mumbled with shame as she zipped up her jacket. Oh, what am I going on about? Mamori whined something unintelligible while Mirai just looked at her. You're not helping your case. Just can it before you make it worse, Naruto advised, as a new wave of murmuring and whispers caught his ears. Still, did you see what that guy did? Yeah, he wielded an extra already released by a liberator, and turned the same liberator into a sword. And he wielded the two without any drawbacks. Could he be? No way, it's just a myth, a fairy tale, but still, what are they going on about? Naruto wondered as he rubbed the back of his head. Now that was really unexpected, a falsely impressive voice rang out. Uh-oh, you know what that kind of voice means, Kit. Kurama mused as the gate to the side opened. Yeah, arrogant rich bitch incoming, Naruto replied as a new girl walked into the arena. Oh, come on. At least this one has bigger tits than that banshee, Kurama commented with a wink. Hell, bigger than Hibari's. Hush, you, quote, Seijima is an A-class. To defeat her so easily, the high-ranking looking girl said with praise that sounds mocking. Oh, pardon me. How rude of me to not introduce myself. I am Charlotte Scherzen. Might I have your name? Cutie, Charlotte Scherzen type. Liberator rating, rich. How can that flimsy top hold her boobs? Naruto. That's all you're getting, Naruto answered cautiously, not wanting to give her too much. And frowned when he heard nothing but silence the moment this lady made her entrance. Even Mirai looked tense as she stood protectively behind Mamori as Charlotte walked over to the downed Seijima. And promptly grinded her heel into Seijima's hand, waking her up and causing her to cry out in pain. Kurama, it's maybe just me, but I have a feeling that I'm about to hate this bitch, Naruto said, as he not a fan of attacking someone who was recently defeated when they're down. What was your first clue? The pink hair, the way she speaks, or the silence from those girls up there? Kurama deadpanned, because it's definitely all of the above. Quote, as she spoke, Naruto's eyes wandered to the audience and drew a look of concern on his face at the looks of fear that were in the girl's eyes, which became more pronounced as a sickening crack echoed through the area, with Naruto quickly turning his attention back to Charlotte and Seijima, the former put her heel through the latter's trap hand, turning her pained cries into a horrified scream of pain. Yep, all gonna hate her. I mean Seijima was bitch, but that right there was cruel, and where I draw the line. Naruto growled angrily as his hands brawled into fist with the desire to punt the pinkett into next week. Easy, Naruto, Kurama chided, not wanting Naruto to do anything rash. Seriously, why can't all girls with pink hair be as nice as Hibari? And what the hell is Hexa? Please stop, Mamori pleaded from behind Naruto and Mirai. Why are you doing such a terrible thing? Mamori-chan, shut up, Naruto growled quietly, trying to avoid a possible problem. That's none of your concern, Charlotte replied haughtily with her back turned to them. Maybe, but I still can't ignore it, Mamori pressed, but Naruto pulled her back. Please, just let her go, and Mamori-chan, can it, now? Naruto ordered loudly before turning to Mirai. Mirai-chan. Get her out of here and damn it Mirai-chan. Don't. Naruto had the plan for Mirai to take Momori away while he deals with Charlotte, but that plan failed before it started, making him swear loudly when Mirai charged Charlotte. Ho turned around and grinned BEFCK with a swipe of her hand. What was that? Naruto wondered as Mirai landed next to him. Her nails, huh? His ears picked up rumbling from below as if something was snaking its way through it. Moving fast, he grabbed Mirai and Momori and jumped away as a metallic red rope tried to catch them. But another one appeared, wrapped itself around the blonde's leg, and pulled them back down to the ground. Then, more red rope with hooks sprang up and ensnared both Naruto and Mirai. Naruto pulled on the rope and managed to track it to a girl behind Charlotte with teal-color hair, blue eyes, and a red uniform similar to Charlotte, with the only difference is that she was flat. She also had some kind of armament on with butterfly wings with the red rope stored in it. Too many BDSM themes here. Ow! Naruto yelled as he and Mirai were knocked back. Naruto was then sent into a pillar while Mirai was whipped repeatedly, much to the distress of Momori, who was begged for the girl stop attacking her friends. Stop, please, stop, she cried as ran to Mirai's side. Are you okay? Well, ain't this a fine mess we're in? Naruto groaned after prying himself off the pillar and make his way over to his friends. You're going to have to shift the girls into weapons again if you want to escape with them, Kurama advised. Why would you do that? We're both girls. Momori suddenly squeaked after pulling away from Mirai, who tried to kiss her to initiate the drive ability. Unfortunately, it cost her, as she was suddenly wrapped in the teal-haired girl's red rope and lifted away from Mirai, who ran after her. She's been Princess Peach'd. Shocker. Naruto muttered sarcastically and charged forward to get to Momori. This city girl is going to be the death of you two. Things then turned south as Mirai and Momori were separated, and the girl then tangled her ropes into a web-like formation and unleashed them, connecting with Naruto, who tried to evade. Gah! The force of the blow was so hard, he was sent through the castle walls and away from the castle, before landing into the forest after going through a few trees. Mana, you hit him too hard. Charlotte chided before sighing and ordering a search squad to be formed as Mirai landed on her head and was knocked out, with Momori fainting afterwards. Meanwhile, hooded figure silently disappeared from the audience. Back with Naruto. Shitake mushrooms. Mirai-chan. Momori-chan. Naruto shouted and stood up. As he did, he felt awfully energized, but lightheaded as a result, causing him to sway on his feet and nearly fall off the branch until the blonde girl caught him. You need to be careful, that you do. You landed quite away from the castle, but I bet the landing wasn't pleasant. And your healing factor is working overtime, but lessened with the aid of the spring water. You need rest, that you do. The girl chided and sat Naruto back down. As long as you tell me what the hell is going on here, I'll sit still. Deal. Never thought I'd meet a nice girl like you. We hadn't introduced ourselves yet, have we? I'm Naruto. Uzumaki Namikaze Naruto, and I'm a Ronin ninja. Naruto said with a foxy grin and pointed his thumb at himself. Naruto Dono, nay, Maelstrom and Fishcake, I like it. The blonde girl squealed and returned the grin. I'm Yukikaze Panatona. I'm also a ninja, a freelance ninja that is. And she pulled her hood back, revealing ears of a fox on top of her head, with a fox tail suddenly sticking out, making Naruto's and Kurama's jaw drop. Yukikaze Panatona type. Exter. Rating. Demigod Foxgirl. Ninja. Bouncy. Kit, if this girl isn't in your harem by the end of this conversation, Kurama said eerily and threatening. Not now, fuzzball. Mao, as in, Demon Lord. Naruto asked, pointing at himself. What am I, a genetic male protagonist in a light novel and or erotic visual novel? How am I considered a demon? Lord, your fight with Seijima this afternoon proved it, that it did, and it's not because of your jutsu. You turned a liberator into a liberator arm, and used the extra that the liberator turned into a weapon as yours. Normally, you can't use liberator arms other liberators drive with, but you did, and wielded them without being repelled. Did they happen to have any memory regarding what happened during the closing moments of your fight with Seijima? It appeared that Mirai-chan did, but Momori-chan didn't since she was asleep in my vision. Naruto replied after thinking about it. Hose wielded by the Mao retains memory of events. Yukikaze said, unlike the others, who are asleep while in weapon form. Anything else I should know? When Momori-chan, Mirai-chan, and I arrived, we kept getting attacked without our questions answered. Yukikaze-chan. Yuki. Call me Yuki, that you should. Okay, Yuki-chan. Why were we brought to his island? For what purpose is the government isolating us? Naruto questioned, since he wanted answered, and he wants him now. Yuki just looked at him before shifting herself and straddled his legs before looking at him seriously. Where do I start? Yuki hummed before launching into an explanation. We are on one of 5 artificial islands called Mermaid. Those that are brought here are found to be infected with a disease called the armed virus. As of today, there is no course with a side effect that grant us special powers, like you saw when you first arrived. The power for a liberator to transform an extra into a weapon, right? That's right. Those like Momori Dono and myself can transform their body into a weapon, an arm, are called extras. Those who drive us, like you and Mirai Dono, who can release our power for them to use, are called liberators. Everyone on this island and the other islands are either an extra or a liberator. Yuki explained. Naruto took a moment to process the information. Any reason why the government would isolate those like us? He finally asked, as a horrible sinking feeling washed over him over the implications. No one knows. All we know is that it's not infectious for normal people to catch. Plus, the disease only affects females, but you're an exception. You have to understand that this changes everything, and because of what you did in your battle with Seijima, you made yourself one hot commodity. Naruto Dono. Yukikaze told him seriously, the things you did are exactly what the Mao did in the myths. Your arrival is about to shake up things in a big way, that it will, and I'm guessing that you want in on the ground floor with me. Naruto guessed, with Yukikaze smiling. You bet. No doubt I'm compatible with you, that I might. Because of my huge power level, I haven't been able to drive with anyone, and a barrier repels them. I'm not the only one, for there are others like me. If you and me are able to drive, then you'll be able to drive with the other girls in question, that you will. So what say you? Well, I can use more allies when it comes to this world I've entered. And since you're a fox girl, something tells me that we'll have a lot of fun together. Naruto replied with a grin and hugged Yukikaze close. You have no idea, Yukikaze agreed as they looked into each other's eyes. You think you'll be able to handle a demigod blade like me? Only one way to find out. Naruto teased as they closed the distance and kissed. After a few moments, they finally separated to get some air. No barrier. We are compatible, Yukikaze squealed in excitement before adopting a sultry look. So, my dear Maudono, shall we take it one step further? Well, the next thing Yukikaze knew, she was laying on the tree trunk with Naruto hovered on top before disrobing her of her kunoichi dress. What kind of sane man would say no to that, Yuki-chan? The rest of the night was filled with pleasurable moans, followed by orgasmic cries, and a bright light shining through the forest. When a search party swept through the area, they found no one, except for a broken tree branch, as a feeling of dread washed over them. Mermaid Island, they hidden within the forest. Naruto poked his head out and looked around to see if the coast was clear. When it was, he stepped out while putting on his jacket. Ready to go, Yuki-chan? He asked, looking behind him. After a moment, Yukikaze stepped out while adjusting her kunoichi uniform and tying the bow that led it together. As ready as you are, Naruto Dono, she confirmed with a determined look. Good, let's go. Both ninja ran before hopping onto a tree and bounded off it to jump through the forest in the direction of the castle. Naruto and Yukikaze snuck into the castle while keeping to the shadows. With Naruto taking point, he led them to the balcony where the audience for yesterday's fight was and focused his ears to eavesdrop on the conversations below. Nay, did you hear? They doing a wedding today. That extra from yesterday, with how easily she took out Seijima, I'm sure lots of people want her. Welter's driving it, we B class and below are totally out of the picture. I should have known. Wedding, you girls get married here. Naruto asked Yukikaze, who suddenly looked concerned. It's different here. It's more like a matchmaking, that it is. Yukikaze replied before they sunk into the shadows when someone walked by. Not like a real marriage matchmaking like on the mainland, I bet. Naruto guessed in a silent voice. That's right, Naruto Dono. It's a ceremony. Why for choosing the right liberator to maximize an extra's ability, that it is. In other words, a partner. Yukikaze added before continuing after a moment, sounds like Welters trying to expand their ranks. Welter, I assume that's an organization here. Naruto questioned, having hearing that name twice now. Yep, they're a committee that operates and enforces order on Mermaid Island, that they do. Their leader is known as the governor and its members, the Ritters. Yukikaze elaborated for her liberator. And Charlotte is one of them, I take it? Naruto asked, with Yukikaze nodding. Yes, but I can explain this later. That I will, Naruto Dono. Right now, we need to get to the top of the tower where the chapel is. That's where the wedding is taking place. Yukikaze whispered as she pointed upwards. I agree Yuki-chan, but we need her true partner, Mirai-chan. Naruto interjected and looked around. Now where could she be? Howdy there, I can help ya with that, said a voice with a Kansai dialect. Naruto and Yukikaze whipped around to see a young Japanese girl coming out the shadows from behind a corner. She's 4 feet 7 inches tall, has dirty brown hair, green eyes, a petite body, and wearing a pink cowboy hat. A small white shirt tied together in the front, a brown vest and backpack, a turquoise miniskirt, and brown boots. Whoa, Naruto shouted as he took a defensive stance. Whoa here indeed, mister. I'm actually here to help ya. The girl said. What a surprise. You would never help us until you get something in return, Meifong Dono. Yukikaze countered sternly upon recognizing the girl. Meifong Sakura. Type. Exter to be confirmed. Rating. Cheapskate. Bet dealer cowgirl merchant. You got me, Yuki. Meifong said with her tongue stuck out. Maybe, I'm doing this on behalf of an influential third party who has a keen interest in you, Mao-san. She pointed at Naruto, who frowned. I'm sure that's not the only reason. Naruto said and folded his arm while keeping his sense on high alert. Ha, you're right. You really are a ninja like Yuki Mao-san, picking up little details like that, but you're right regardless. The reason is simple. I was running bets on your battle yesterday. And boy did I have a killing, so I owe you my help. You can thank me later. Meifong said with a smile. I'm skating on some real thin ice to do this for ya. The third party, could it be? Yukikaze wondered as her mind wandered to the infamous duo on Mermaid Island known as Lady and the Lady. Lady J and Rain. Where is she? Where's Mirai-chan? And make it fast. Naruto demanded as a threatening aura of miasma leaked from him, causing Meifong to sweat. Oh, come on, chill out a little. Fine, my bad. I'll talk. Meifong squealed in fright and waved her hands before answering quickly. Your friend is in the disciplinary dungeon in the basement. I know the place. I can lead you there. Yukikaze said instantly before bowing to Meifong. Thank you very much, cheapskate. Gah, I am not a cheapskate. Is that anyway? Meifong ranted before hearing footsteps. Oh crap. Those two you first met on the island are part of Ritter and they're disciplining your friend. You better hurry, and we're even now. With that, Meifong sped off, with Naruto and Yukikaze sinking into the shadows again. Cheapskate, Naruto asked in amusement as Yukikaze led him to the dungeons. Don't ask. Yukikaze moaned as they entered the dungeon. The dungeon was dark and grimy as they sped through it. They reached the end of the hall to see 2 familiar faces that Naruto recognized. Miyasato and Kuzumi, all bandaged up and wearing official-looking uniforms, and walking out of an isolation cell. Well, the answerless bitches. How are you? Naruto asked pleasantly with a trolling smile. Ah, you, Miyasato screamed pointing at him. Yes, me. Naruto suddenly disappeared and reappeared behind them while skidding on the ground, creating deep trenches with his skid marks. With the force of the surprise attack making the 2 Ritter member bounced on the walls of the hallways before landing in a heap on the ground. Impossible. Miyasato choked out before falling into unconsciousness. How does he know? The Kurokami Phantom? Kuzumi asked weakly before joining her partner. Kurokami Phantom. It's the Uzumaki Rush. Get it right. Naruto said LDLY after noticing the blood on their knuckles. No, they're both the same. Yukikaze thought, a warm feeling welling up inside her as Naruto kicked the cell door off its hinges. Naruto Dono is more than a Mao. If he's just as powerful as her, then he's more than the miracle the Five Islands need. Mirai-chan. Kept you waiting, huh? Naruto. What took you so long? Naruto strode over to her to check her condition. She was bruised and bleeding a little, but nothing too major thankfully. Getting information and a new ally. Naruto replied, jerk his head to Yukikaze as he worked to get Mirai free. As she playfully kneaded with them, Naruto pulled the cuffs off Mirai's wrist and tossed them to the side. Mirai then cracked her knuckles, rolled her wrists to get feeling and blood flow into them. Hope you're ready to go, soldier, because we have a location on Momori-chan. Let's go. In an instant, Mirai was up and ready to go, with Yukikaze nodding, confirming that she was ready too. Naruto then ran out of the cell with Yukikaze and Mirai following. Once outside, Yukikaze took point and led them through a few routes with no people before arriving at a flight of long stairs. And around her were Ritter grunts who were knocked out. Arigato, S. Dono, Yukikaze called out as they sped past her, with S nodding. S. Kasaragi type. Extra rating. Crystal Girl of the Azure. As they descended the steps, Naruto looked back at S, who stared at him with a curious expression before leaving. Is she a doll? Kurama wondered. A friend of yours, Yukikaze? Naruto asked as he refocused on speeding up the stairs. Yep, she's one of the girls I know whose power level is similar to mine. You know what that means. Yukikaze replied with a wink. A future blade, Naruto whispered as Mirai looked at him. Anyway, the chapel is just up there. Hopefully we're not too late. Let not waste time to find out. Naruto quickly grabbed Yukikaze and Mirai and hoisted them up on his shoulder. Digging into his utility belt, he brought out a grapple hook he built after completing the Batman Arkham trilogy with Hibari during their video game dates. She would not play it by herself due to its dark themes. And the Joker scares the crap out of her, and causing her to hide behind Naruto whenever he's on screen. Hold tight. Narul and fired the hook onto the far-off balcony. Pressing a button, they shot up into the air, with Naruto pressing the button twice to speed them up until they flew by the balcony and into the air. This is perfect. We're right above the window where they have the bed the pairs used to see if they're compatible. Yukikaze shouted as they began to fall, with their collision course being the stainless window that she was talking about. Naruto and Mirai looked each other and nodded as they got into position. Secret fusion ninja art. Double rider kick. Quote, Naruto and Mirai executed a flying side kick together and crashed through the stainless window with Yukikaze following behind. Naruto then used his chakra to connect with the wind, allowing them to safety float to ground and land in front of the bed that Yukikaze mentioned. And on the bed with Momori, who was wearing a white wedding dress that was pulled down, leaving her topless with her arms covering her chest, and off the bed was supposed to be her partner. Nukui, Yukikaze shouted, recognizing the partner. I see. This is Charlotte's doing, if it's her doing. Naruto and Mirai charged forward and kicked the charging Nukui, sending her into a railing and knocking her out. Then that's all the reason I need Datbeo, Naruto said as Mirai picked up a still-stunned Momori bridal style. We need to go, Mirai said, looking at Naruto with Yukikaze, and then Momori. Okay. Why yes, Momori agreed, just as the chapel doors opened. Oh, you, Naruto deadpanned as Charlotte and Ainge, the latter who knocked him out of the castle, walked in. And just where do you all think you're going? Charlotte asked chidingly. You troublesome pests, how did you get back in here? And how do you get out of the disciplinary room? She asked Naruto and Mirai. Magic, Naruto replied cheekily as he prepared to fight. Wait, no violence, please, Momori begged, making Naruto facefo. It was then that he realized that she was the type who detested violence. Yep, she's going to be the death of you, Kit. Kurama laughed at Naruto's misfortune of having to protect someone like her. To do that, Mirai said quietly to her. To do that, Momori repeated, before gasping at what she meant. Naruto rolled his eyes as he got up, rubbing his head before saying, Mirai-chan, after you and Momori-chan, Drive, get her out of here. Me and Yuki-chan will hold them off before following after you. Come on, Yuki-chan. Hi, Naruto Dono. Both Naruto and Yukikaze jumped over the railing and landed in front of Charlotte and Ainge. Naruto. And, Yukikaze Panatona. We were looking for you. You disappeared during your wedding for the past few months after scarring the chosen one we had for you. Charlotte said angrily as she glared at Yukikaze. The one you chosen tried to force herself on me when my barrier repelled her. Before the wedding, I heard all kinds of things about Welter, and all of them were true from what I witnessed. Yukikaze shot back, your organization is one of tyranny. When I was in the castle, even while the girls were cheering and having fun, I felt oppression and fear from them, and it became more pronounced when you appeared. And because of that, I plan to crush you and Welter to the ground. Quote, if that's your decision, then know that you and anyone that sides with you are now enemies of Welter. Charlotte countered, expecting him to reconsider. It was inevitable anyway, since I'm here to make sure Momori-chan has her rightful partner, which, Naruto dragged on before a bright light shined above them, has already been decided. Fusion trans, liberate arm. Quote, in a flash, Mirai was now wielding Momori in her arm form above them. Ainge. At Charlotte's command, Ainge flew up and was about to fire her stringed hooks at Mirai when Naruto sudden. Lee appeared in front of her and kicked her to the ground in front of Charlotte. Your opponent is not them, but us, Naruto said as Mirai landed behind him and Yukikaze in front of the altar, impaling Momori to the ground. Then, in a burst of energy, Mirai used the same energy from Momori to burst out of the chapel and into the air, flying in the direction of the beach they previously landed in. It's our turn now, Yukikaze said, stepping forward. Before that, Kage Bunshin no Jutsu. Quote, Naruto summoned a dozen shadow clones to act as a barrier between himself and Yukikaze from Charlotte and Ainge. Ainge went on the attack however, with the clones responding to keep her back. Now there'll be no interruptions. Naruto Dono, I'm nearly. Yukikaze gasped out as she rubbed her thighs together, don't tease me. Fusion trans, liberate arm. Naruto declared after breaking the kiss, with Yukikaze leaning back with him holding her. Cue rules of nature from Metal Gear Rising, Revengeance. Yukikaze's body glowed a bright yellow before forming into blue flames that resembled foxfire, as she then formed into an elegant katana that was worthy of the gods with the themes of a foe. X represented by the hilt and snow represented by the snowflake engraves on the blade. Next, Naruto tossed her in the air and took out a scroll. Opening it, he unsealed a sheath with a gun mod as Evid. Ensed by a trigger and sheathed, Yukikaze, within it. Yuki-chan, you there? Naruto asked, with Yuki's face showing up in his vision. All set and ready to go, that I am. Yukikaze answered cheerfully. Then let's make this quick. And see how sharp you are. Naruto said as the last of his clones were defeated. Naruto then moved his head to the side to avoid one of Ainge's attacks. Not deterred, Ainge unleashed a swarm of rope spears at the blonde Uzumaki, who sliced them into pieces with Yukikaze. Welter, meet my new blade, Snowy Wind, one of many blades I will use to cut you down. Ainge unleashed another attack, but Naruto dodged it using the Hiraishin and reappeared by shoulder ramming Ainge, stunning her. Using chakra to coat the blade with an energy to shield the blade from fatally cutting his opponents. He unleashed a barrage of Iijutsu strikes augment with his gun sheath that assisted in quickly drawing the blade at high speed. As if, Ainge shrieked, unleashing her arm on Naruto. The hooks knocked Naruto back and impaled him, with Ainge smiling with glee. But Charlotte tensed when she recognized that tactic from yesterday that ended with Saijima's demise, with Naruto fading away into mist. She failed to warn her bodyguard in time as Naruto flashed stepped behind her. Yagayu Shinkage. Ryu. The first blade, residual moon. With a click of sheathing Snowy Wind into the gun sheath. Ainge screamed as her clothes were torn apart and her arm reverted back into a random girl. Ainge. Charlotte out and glared daggers at Naruto as reinforcements swarmed in, along with the commander of the guard. Damn you, O2. She rushed towards Naruto and slashed at him with her nail, but Naruto evaded and lashed out with Snowy Wind, nick her cheek and causing it to bleed. Charlotte was in shock, feeling her bleeding cheek as Ritter reinforcements came in. I think we should go, that we should. Yukikaze advised as Naruto fired a chakra blade at the reinforcement, KN. Ocking them into the walls and chairs of the chapel. Agreed. Let's leave some more ass-kickings for tomorrow. Datbeo. Naruto agreed and flash-stepped to the hole in the roof. You bastard. You bastard. You're dead. Charlotte screamed in rage, defying us like this. Who the hell do you think you are? Well, since you asked so nicely, Naruto. Uzumaki Naruto. And, we'll see a lot more of each other. Naruto said, blowing a kiss with a salute before disappearing from their sight, missing Charlotte's now extremely shocked face at the reveal of his surname. Rules of nature fade out. After taking in a breath of fresh air, he climbed to the highest point of the tower using his grapple hook and surveyed the surrounding of the castle. Beautiful, isn't it? But the darkness of the welter taints it, Yukikaze said, with Naruto nodding before noticing something. Thyrsile's out. Do you know anything about it? Naruto asked. It's a safe haven for those can't stand welter's rule. And I'm one of its protectors. Yukikaze replied with pride. I'm bet that the other protectors are to be my future blades, right? Naruto guessed, with Yukikaze nodding. You'll like them, that you will. We were waiting for someone like you. Quote, I won't disappoint then. First, we need to get back to Mirai-chan and Momori-chan. With the island mapped out in his mind, Naruto leapt into the air and stretched. Head out this limb to use the falcon dive technique he learned from Hayabusa Ryu, a friend of his whom he met during his time as a Mugen Tenshin nin, during a mission. Oh right, Naruto Dono, I feel someone else's presence within you. Yukikaze piped up. That would be Kurama, the nine-tailed fox sealed within me. Don't be shy, furball. Say hi, Naruto ordered, using his mental avatar to prod the big fox. Hello Yukikaze, my name is Kurama, and welcome to the Kit's harem. You won't be disappointed, Kurama greeted. Thanks, furball. Naruto growled as Yukikaze's mental avatar appeared next to him. Ah, a giant fox, sugoi, Yukikaze said as she zipped from side to side to see every angle of Kurama. Nice to meet you, Kurama. Dono, you too. Oh, and Kit, you're about to crash onto the beach, wah. You're younger than me, quote. Naruto snapped back to reality, just as he crashed through a few trees and popped out of them and into the beach area, where he crashed into front of Mirai and Momori. Ow tilde, ah, Naruto-san. Momori squeaked and as Mirai checked to see if he's okay. I'm fine, but I heard you shouting. What's wrong? He asked as Momori looked at him cautiously. Naruto, how old are you? Momori asked slowly and braced herself for the answer. 18. Why? Naruto asked as Mirai helped him up. Mirai-san is 15. Wah. Naruto slowly looked at a now blushed Mirai, who cutely turned away, embarrassed. Huh, thought you were 18 or something. Naruto said and groaned. So what's wrong, Momori-chan? He thought Momori wasn't legal. I'm 16. Naruto's heart skipped a beat and looked between Mirai and Momori, his brain close to overloading at the revelation. Momori is 16, and she has the body of a lowly opai middle schooler. Mirai is 15, and her busty body is close to Katsuragi in body type. What the fuck? You wanna run that one by me again, Datbeo? Mermaid Island, Castle. Even though we all possess abnormal powers, we are still able to maintain a normal civil society. We need to prove that to the ones watching this island. That is why I have established water, and led its actions. I ask that you all for your support in escape this island, so that we can return to our loved ones. Cheers. Hiragi Akira, the now former only male on this island, the governor of water, and a totally laughable hypocrite. You have no idea. It'll be an interesting event to see him and the newest male on his island, Uzumaki Naruto, finally meet face to face. But, let us see how he fares against the might of water, before we are to pass judgment. If he proves himself not like Hiragi Akira, this cruel blade shall be his to wield. Beach. In the waters surrounding the island, Naruto swam about shirtless with a makeshift spear carved from a tree branch in the forest. After moving swiftly and carefully, Naruto struck and snagged a fish with the end of his spear. Not done, Naruto unleashed a burst of chakra to propel himself through the water to spear several more fish like a bullet before surfacing from the water. Nodding his head in satisfaction, Naruto swam back to shore to awaiting Yukikaze, who had her kunoichi dress hanging from her waist and bent over with her hands on her knees as Naruto lifted himself up. Yosh, this'll be enough for breakfast to hold us until noon. Datbeo, Naruto declared as he held up the fish he's captured. Naruto dono, that is more than enough for the four of us, that it is. Why don't you save some to take with us to the village for them to eat as well? Yukikaze suggested, with Naruto nodding. Good idea, Yuki-chan. Hell, I'll capture even more, Naruto said as he took the fish off the stick on the patch of grass he made for his capture and gave the cross-handessel, Kage Bunshin. Quote, after the clones appeared, each with a copy of the wooden spears, Naruto instructed them to capture as many fish as they can to being back with them for the resident of the village. You're amazing, Naruto dono. So thoughtful, Yukikaze praised and hugged him from behind as the clones jumped into the water to hunt the fish. There's a lot of fish in these here waters. It would be shame for them not in be put to use. Plus, I bet that the girls in the village would have to sneak out and not get caught by water to get additional resources, Naruto remarked as Yukikaze jumped on his back. You're right. In Torino village, the girls that lived there didn't like the way water were running things in Festa, and retreated there, that they did. Water knows about it, but haven't done anything about it, yet. Yukikaze said in a worried tone. They have a protector now in the form of a guy who's been a ninja ever since he was 7 years old. Yours truly, that is Datbeo. Naruto said confidently, I've trained and honed my skills ever since I left my home village to heights that I couldn't achieve there. Plus, I incorporated all the amazing things I've seen in the media and video games. The latter thanks to my friend Hibari. You could say that I'm an all-round jack of all trades ninja who aims to be the best devil hunter ever, Datbeo. You mean like the legendary Dark Knight Sparta and his son Dante from ages ago? Their family is legend in the underground community from what I heard before I was shipped here. Yukikaze commented thoughtfully, but Air sealed the hell gate that the portal to the demon world. Yet fiends and Yoma invade the world to this day. And people are in need of protection and liberation. And that where I come in, as soon as I get off this rock. Naruto said gloomy with a rain cloud above him. If it's you, you can do it, as long as you take us with you. Yukikaze said as they walked away from the water. Your situations were similar to mine back then I was a kid. Of course I wouldn't leave you girls behind, Naruto assured her. They arrived at a formation of rock where Mirai and Momori were sleeping closely together, with Mirai waking up. Outside of the rock cave was a small fire that Yuki got started as Naruto went fishing. Had a nice nap, Naruto asked Yuki check the fire. Naruto dono. The fire's hot enough. Shall I go get the fish? Yuki called over. Naruto nodded and snapped his fingers, with a torrent of speared fish being hurled out of the water, onto the patches of grass Naruto laid out so they won't get sand on them as he had clones clean them for cooking. He then went back to prodding Momori awake. Okawa-san, where's the second serving of rice omelet? Momori mumbled in her sleep and turned over. Sorry, but there aren't any chickens to take eggs from to make an omelet. Naruto joked before his prankster side took over. Here. How about some fish instead? He put it in the arms of Momori, who moaned a bit before hugging it like a teddy bear. She frowned when she finally woke up to see what from in her arms, and shrieked as she jumped up and sent the fish flying. What was that? She cried as Yukikaze sank to her knees, laughing uncontrollably. Breakfast, Naruto replied cheerfully. Mirai could only sigh, feeling sorry for falling victim to Naruto's playful prank. She evaded when she remembered that one prank Naruto pulled on her during a sparring match that involved wads of bubble gum, a stick of butter, and a tree. Ever since then, she felt bad for yo-yos everywhere. After recovering from the infamous Uzumaki pranking, breakfast was cooked in the form of fish on a stick, cooked primarily by Mirai to prevent Naruto from pulling something else. And it turned out delicious. Withavided by the blonde Uzumaki. Thank you for the meal. It was delicious. Momori praised her partner. A drink would have made it perfect. My apologies, Mirai said submissively, owing her head as if the redhead was royalty. Oh, no, I'm not complaining, Momori responded, waving her hands. Why are you addressing me in such polite form? I am younger, Mirai simply said, with Naruto hearing and facefaulting. Oh, don't worry about that. I'm so tiny, I don't appear older at all, Momori remarked with a nervous laugh. You're not wrong about that, Naruto drawled as she set the pile of caught fish down. Did you have to be so blunt? Momori whined with tears in her eyes. I do care, you know. Sorry Momori-chan, but you opened that avenue. You may be 16, but most of society won't find you legal. Despite that chest of yours. Naruto deadpanned as he put his shirt and jacket back on. And the need to be as brutally honest as possible is a trait of mine, so please get used to it now. So mean. Momori mumbled and looked out to the sea. I wonder if there's a way off this island. There is, but it's extremely difficult. There's a shield that surrounds this island. And it's only weak on the outside, that it is. That's how he was safely able to get ejected from the pods through the shields. On the inside, it's a different story. There has to be a weak point in the shield. But none of us have been able to find it. Yukikaze explained after pointing to the wreckage that were the pods that Naruto, Momori, and Mirai came in. What about a way around it? Momori asked in a begging tone. Yukikaze just shook her head. When the shield is a dome covering the island, there is no way around it, that there isn't, Shoujo Dono. Yukikaze replied and ignored Momori's taunt. If you can get close enough, you can use my chakra to let out a sonar pulse to locate this weak point on the shield. That's a start, Kurama suggested. It is. Thanks Kurama, though I'm surprised you want to help. I thought you wanted me to stay and sample the goods. Naruto joked. I said that because I thought it was an island paradise, but I was wrong. You need to rescue everyone not fond of water and get them the hell out of here, Kit. Kurama snapped, pointing at him. You don't have to tell me twice. Naruto snapped back. So we have to live on this island for the rest of our lives. That's too. Momori was about to cry when Naruto put a hand on her shoulder. Save those tears. We are going to get out of here. But first we need to head to that village. Naruto, Mirai suddenly said and took Momori to hide behind a rock. As she did that, Naruto heard the same noise of something pulling up that caused Mirai to react and took cover as well with Yukikaze following. Time out, time out. A familiar voice to Naruto and Yukikaze called out, Yahoo! Naruto poked his head around the corner to see Mei Fong waving at them with a cargo truck behind her. Howdy there. A few minutes later, as the truck rolled through the forest, Naruto was seen on top of the roof with Yukikaze leaning against him, with Mirai and Momori inside the truck with Mei Fong driving. How did she learn to drive? Sakura Mei Fong Dono runs a jack-of-all-trades service on this island between the village and Festa. She may be a cheapskate and a coward at times, but she's reliable and never disappoints. Yukikaze said. Festa, Naruto asked, the term's foreign to him. The name of the castle the warder runs. Yukikaze elaborated for him. At least I can put a name to it now. Anything else I need to know about Mei Fong? She's 16 and is a resident of Festa. Yukikaze added brightly, with Naruto nearly facefaulting. 16 Datbeo. A thought cloud appeared above Naruto's head comparing Mirai and Mei Fong. Ellipsis. Genetics. It must be genetics. That are the side effects of the armed virus varies from girl to girl. Naruto guessed and stroked Yukikaze's fox ears, causing her to purr. My bloodline was descended from a god, and when the virus awakened my extra powers, it reacted to the dormant bloodline in my blood and these fox ears appeared. Plus, I was a D cup, before they grew to an F cup. Impressive, huh? Yukikaze said with a foxy smile. When it comes to the demon lord, whoever's bonded with him has the virus within them turn into a vaccine. It's like a refined version of the virus, showing of their connection with the demon lord. Yukikaze said as she kept making a fist with her hand. Any side effects we should be worried about? I don't want there to be a negative effect on you or the girls who will become my arsenal. Naruto said worryingly. None, but I feel stronger and more focused, that I do. And a stronger connection too. Yukikaze added mentally, showcasing their new telepathic connection. Handy. Naruto praised mentally to Yukikaze, who giggled as he rubbed her head. Oh, is that the village? Yep. Welcome to Torino Village. They finally cleared the forest, arriving at the small village with small houses, a windmill, clotheslines, and with small hills around the clearing. Naruto noted the modern structure of the homes. And his eyes wandered to its surroundings as the car pulled to a house in front of the main house, where a small group of girls were waiting at the doorstep. Naruto then jumped out and helped Mei Fong unload some cargo on the doorstep in front of the girls, which turned out to be boxes of essentials. Books, clothes, underwear, medicine, cosmetics, Mei Fong recited as the girls gushed over the items bought. Don't fight, now. You have to share. These people are, Mamori asked, transfers to this island, like us. Mei Fong replied as the girls divided up the loot equally. They didn't. She like how things were ran in the festa, so they live out here instead. The festa is the castle you guys unfortunately stumbled into, with Warder being the atypical military authority there that has no qualms with abusing their power. They make up the rules and force them on others, claiming it's to protect the lower ranks. Whenever someone gets too rowdy, even on a minor scale, the war chair imprisons and severely punishes the offender. Which explains the lack of positive emotions within the festa. Naruto concluded, his empathic ability informing him of that, with the young woman nodding. But we've never done anything wrong. Mamori pointed out. Oh, that's Warder's way of testing the abilities of new transfers like yourselves. If the newbie is promising, they invite them into their ranks. If the newbie is weak, they force them to obey their rules, for protection. Mei Fong told them, and nobody complains. Mirai surmised. Warder controls the island's lifelines. Mei Fong responded with a dark look. The festa has underground factories that produce food and goods, and Warder controls them. As long as you obey Warder, food, shelter, and clothing on this island is guaranteed. Yuikikas added, and nobody complains about it, meaning that they have no choice but to be loyal to have the essentials needs to live in the festa. It's practically a prison in there. Most likely with a slave labor force of mentally and physically broken girls who previously were vocal about living standards making all the goods. Which is why these girls are here in the village, and you, no doubt being undercover as a resident there, stole these goods from there. Naruto summarized, getting a better understanding of the workings of the Vesta and Warder. Correct, Mei Fong confirmed. What, is that okay? Mamori asked, worried, when the Warder people find out, won't you get in trouble? Oh, don't worry about it. I only took a tiny fraction, not enough to cause trouble. Mei Fong promised with a wink. Famous last words, Mei Fong Chan. The back red-haired young woman said, oh, I forgot. I haven't introduced myself. I am the sword that smites evil, Nanbu Kagaya. Kagaya Nanbu type. Extra rating, dairy. Goddess of comedy-inducing boobs. Guardian of Torino Village and at your service. Kagaya introduced herself with a Salu dairy cow princess. Mei Fong muttered, nudging Naruto. Who rolled his eyes? She's not wrong there. Kurama agreed with a thumbs up. Remind me to keep her away from Mirai and Ryobi, Naruto muttered. Those two flat-chested girls would throw a fit at Naruto adding more girls with big boobs to his harem. And he already advised the two jealous idiots to drink lots of milk and be patient, damn it. Then again, it would be impossible. Thanks to their hair trigger berserk buttons. Mei Fong Chan tilde. Suddenly, Mei Fong was wrapped in a bone-crushing hug by a woman who's 5 feet 3 inches tall with brown hair, yellow eyes, with outstanding proportions with a I-cup bust. And wearing a light blue blouse under a pink apron, blue capri pants, and light green slippers. Thank you so much for the great present, as always. Oni-chan is so grateful. The woman squealed as she hugged Mei Fong's face against her huge bosom. You're suffocating me, Torino-san. Mei Fong cried in a muffled voice. Opie on lowly action. It was only a matter of time. Kurama mused, enjoying the show. Naruto could only grumble. Are you Mei Fong's friends? The woman asked with a smile, while not noticing that Mei Fong was only to get loose. I'm Torino Kazami, the manager of Atelier Torino Inn. You can call me Oni-chan. Kazami Torino type. TBA rating. Big sis. Does not look close to 17. Okay. Mamori replied. Ding. Naruto, Mirai, Yukikaze, and Kagaya. Sweat dropped when Mei Fong's arms dropped, signaling that she was out cold. Welcome to Torino town. As everyone went inside, Kagaya pulled Naruto to the side. Since you're the newest male and Yukikaze's with you, I can. Assume that you're the fabled demon lord who here to shake things up. Kagaya asked the blonde Uzumaki. And I assume those boobs are as real as your title as the Dairy Cow Princess. Naruto shot back jokingly. Come on. I may drink milk, which resulted my chest growing big, but I'm not a cow. Kagaya complained as Naruto laughed. It's all right. I was just playing around. It's a pleasure to meet you. I'm Naruto. Uzumaki Naruto. Naruto said and shook Kagaya's hand. A demon lord and an Uzumaki? Kagaya asked, surprised, and looked at Yukikaze. He defeated Seijima with the other two, and Ainge with me. He's powerful, reliable, and true to himself. He's the miracle everyone needs. Yukikaze said to Kagaya, started eyeing Naruto with interest. I would have defeated Charlotte too, but decided that I kicked enough ass in the last 2 days, so I spared her on a whim. Naruto said confidently, the next time he squares off against the busty Pinkett, he'll knock down that arrogant attitude of her by putting his foot up her ass. I look forward to seeing that happen. Hope you don't mind another co-pilot. Kagaya offered, with Yukikaze nodding her head. I'm always looking for allies. And since you and Yuki are friends, you're in. Naruto said, let's go along, Datbayo. And smite the evil that is water together. Kagaya cheered and clasped Naruto's hand. 30 minutes later, everyone was now gathered in the dining hall of the inn, with Kazami calling for a toast. Attention, everyone, let's toast to Mei Fong and her new friends who brought us these great gifts. Cheers, cheers, geez, her boobs bounce no matter what she does. Naruto muttered, eyeing them with one eyes. How can you even complain about that heavenly sight? Kurama asked incredulously. Kurama-sama is right, Naruto Dono. Don't complain about the finer points in life, that is so. Yukikaze mentally added so both Kurama and Naruto could hear. See kid, this girl is gold. Kurama finished, smirking at the fact that Naruto couldn't have found a better woman to be an alpha for his soon-to-be christened harem of blades. The reason I sneak in and out of Festa is to find the demon lord who would be our savior. And it's you, that it is. Even better, you're an Uzumaki, a descendant of the Utsutsuki clan from ages past. Utsutsuki, I heard that name before, Naruto said as his mental avatar appeared before Kurama. Kurama, quote, interesting. How do they know of the Uzumaki and my father's clan, the Utsutsuki clan? Kurama wondered with minor suspicion. How does that make me special here? Naruto asked as Kurama listened closely. Because you're an Uzumaki, water going to come after you. After all, it's your bloodline that can open the way to the 6th island that. Surrounded by swirling tides which makes it impossible to get to. Only one person managed to because her clan, the Kurokami clan, is also descended from the Utsutsuki. Yukikaze explained to her master. Kurokami Madaka, the strongest liberator extra that no one can tame, who is on par with a demon lord like you. And with her bonded to you, like I will be soon, and the resources that the 6th island has, we can save and free everyone. And find out the government's true purpose for isolating us. Can you really help us, Naruto? Kagaya asked, looking at him straight in his eyes. Without question, Naruto answered without breaking eye contact, and kissed her. Kagaya was caught by surprise, but fell into the kiss, with her tongue briefly clashing. A kiss can tell a lot about a person, and through the kiss, Kagaya could tell that Naruto can be trusted. 100%. Mermaid Island, Atelier Torino Inn. After the little gathering that welcomed Naruto, Mamori, and Mirai into the fold, the latter went to the hot springs to bathe. While Naruto bonded with Kagaya and Yukikaze. As they conversed, Naruto could tell that Kagaya was pure-hearted and a little naive. She claimed to be the sword that cleaves evil, even though she hasn't gotten the chance to transform into a weapon due to her power level as an extra being so high, just like Yukikaze. It seemed slightly unsettling to Naruto to know that there were several extras that have power levels that outclassed supposed S-rank liberators of water. Even more so since there was a slight chance that someone here in Torino village might be pulling double agent duty for water, much like Mei Fong has been providing support in favor of Torino village. When Yukikaze was shipped onto the island, she landed on the beach and made it to the castle, where she was trapped and attacked by an A-rank knight and her partner, forcing Yukikaze to use her ninja skills and Kai to try to pull off an upset and defeat the knight so she could escape. When the time for her wedding came, Warder attempted to pair her with an unpleasant, sadistic liberator similar to Seijima, but that attempt failed miserably when Yukikaze's barrier kept that liberator away from her. It allowed Yukikaze to escape before the Ritter closed in, and she ended up in Torino village, where she became one of its guardians thanks to Mei Fong. As for Kagaya, she nagged to make it to Torino village before the Ritters got to her thanks to Yukikaze, who was at the beach at the time. After hearing about Castle Vesta and Warder that operates it, she went to the CA Saintel to try and get through to the leaders of Warder, but failed spectacularly when she ran into Charlotte, and had her wishing that she listened to the warnings of Yukikaze and everyone else who escaped from the Vesta. Thankfully, she was rescued by Yukikaze with assistance from the girl who helped Naruto, Yukikaze, and Mirai rescue Momori. Kagaya got a light smack to the back of her head for her naive actions from the blonde Uzumaki. It was the next day as Naruto was in the outdoor bath that he didn't get to use due to Momori and Mirai using it, and while Naruto's seen them topless, he rather respect their privacy. Plus, it was nice to be alone for a while. Keywords being, a while. Soon the bath was occupied not only by Naruto, but Yukikaze as well, followed by Kagaya, and both saw fit to invade his personal space. Not that he minded. This kind of position, sharing a bath with two girls, Naruto would love to stay in forever, but he had a job to do, as he told Yukikaze and Kagaya yesterday before they went to sleep. A date with Warder. What are you going to do once you get there? Kagaya asked the bath with a towel wrapped around his waist. Talk to the leader of Warder, and asked her very nicely to quit being a bitch to everyone, just to prove that I'm civil when I need to be. Naruto replied as he dried himself off. The leader of Warder. That would be Hiragi Akira, the governor of Warder. Oh, and she's actually a he. Yukikaze revealed, with Naruto's mouth dropping in surprise. Well, glad to hear that I'm not the only guy on the island. Naruto said and laughed while Kurama inside him groaned. There's also Charlotte, his second in command whom you met, and Shigeru Kasumi, the commander of Warder. They're the top 3 leaders of Warder. Yukikaze Kanten. UED as Naruto went behind a rock to change into his clothes. What's their endgame? Naruto simply asked as he finished getting dressed, with Yukikaze sighing loudly. It doesn't matter. They're barely making progress since they're enjoying their vices too much. But if you really want to know, it's to escape this island. The purpose of their tyranny is to escape from the island with everyone, Yukikaze revealed solemnly. That caused Naruto to trip as he stepped out from behind the rock. But with the way they treat everyone, we worry about what they plan to do afterwards. Kagaya said as she got out of the water. I have a hunch. I just hope I'm proven wrong, Dadbeo. Naruto said as he got up. So the goal of Warder is to escape Mermaid Island. But why the outright tyranny on their fellow liberators and exters? Why label and separate the weak from the strong? And the way they test the newbies that come to the island. They don't explain squat to them. They just attack them to saint their abilities in a do-or-die scenario. It's like throwing a newborn into a deep part of the swimming pool and expecting it to swim. It's just not possible. That is not the actions of an organization that wants to escape captivity. It's more like conditioning on the lower-ranked girls by the Ritters to control them and probably do like than revolt against the government that imprisoned them on the island. The more Naruto thinks about it, the scenario and tactics reminds him of Root back in Konoha. And that is not good in Naruto's ninja handbook. No matter what, I will meet with Akira-san today. I need to see just what kind of person he is to allow such atrocities when he really trying to lead a revolt. Naruto declared as he tightened his headband. You'll have better luck than me. I had the misfortune to run into Charlotte and Kasumi instead of that Akira person when I first went to Vesta. Maybe we can finally get a read on him when you meet with him. Kagaya said as Yukikaze got out as well. Naruto nodded and picked up this phone up from where Yukikaze left it when she and Kagaya took a selfie, just as a familiar face appeared as she landed in the bath. Dono. What's wrong? Yukikaze asked, seeing the serious look on her face. Warder is en route to the village. Ise said, with Yukikaze and Kagaya jumping in shock. What? Kagaya yelled. That's impossible. Why? How far are they? Yukikaze asked after quick changing in her kunoichi outfit. They're a mile out. Responded as Naruto suddenly left the bath, his eyes on his phone. Naruto dono, Yukikaze called out as she went after him. Hey, wait, Kagaya hastily changed into her change and went after her friends, allowing them into the room where they bought in the boxes, which Naruto was digging through. After a while, Naruto scowled as he pulled out a small device that was as small as a button with a blinking red light. Oh no, Yukikaze moaned loudly as Naruto held up the foreign device. Is that a tracking device? Naruto confirmed grimly. Is there a hidden safehouse around here? Kagaya nodded. Yes, but since they're close, there's no enough time to move everyone there. RB's bet is to head to the basement level under the inn. Naruto, Yukikaze, Kagaya, and S made their way to the front of the inn, where everyone was doing various things. They spotted Momori and Mirai with Mei Fong, who was preparing to head back to Vesta since she's a resident there. Oh, Naruto-san, Yuki-san, Kagaya-san, good morning. Momori greeted with Mirai nodding curtly at them. Momori was now sporting a new outfit from the loot Mei Fong nicked from Vesta in the form of the school uniform that is worn by the residents there. What's wrong? Mirai asked, noticing Naruto's serious look as he looked to the horizon. Didn't sleep well last night. Mei Fong teased, but Naruto ignored her and pointed to the inn. Get everyone to the basement. We have company coming. He ordered as Yukikaze, S. and Kagaya went to quickly gather everyone. They're here, S called out, pointing in the direction of the forest path. Here, who's here? Mei Fong asked as she took out a pair of binoculars from her backpack. Let's see, She zoomed in to see several armored cars heading their way from half a mile. Warder armored cars. What are they doing here? Mei Fong cried in shock before catching something that Naruto tossed by her. Does that answer your question? Naruto drawled as Mei Fong recognized it. A tracking device. Damn it, I got careless. She cried out in dramatic horror. Next time, check your cargo. S advised as Yukikaze and Kagaya ushered everyone inside the inn. Gah, if they find me here, it'll make everything worse, so I'll be off. Take care of the rest for me. Mei Fong stammered before taking off. Huh, Mei Fong. Momori called after her. Now what? Mirai asked as Naruto bit his lip. Hide, for now, I'll figure something out. Damn it, those two again. They got lives like a horde of cockroaches. Naruto whispered upon spotting Miyasato and Kuzumi, but who's the four eyes with them? That's Shiger Kasumi, the commander of Warder, and a liberator. Kagaya whispered back as Yukikaze scowled at the commander of Warder. A girl with glasses, has the same name as Kasumi-chan, and dresses like a Karuga. Wonderful Dadbeo, Naruto muttered. To himself with sarcasm as the girl spoke through a microphone. We are Warder from Vesta. We are aware that a thief who stole from our warehouse is hiding here. Please give yourself up. If you do not, we will resort to the use of force. Kasumi declared. Kasumi dono, Yukikaze muttered in disappointment. It was obvious that Charlotte was pulling the strings, which meant that she was doing this without the governor's approval. And speaking of Charlotte, Charlotte's here. She's in the pink armored car, no doubt choosing who to liberate, Yukikaze said, pointing at the only pink armored car in the pack. Like you Naruto, she has her own harem, and can wield multiple arms. Kagaya revealed, with Naruto frowning at that. I thought demon lords are the only ones who can wield multiple arms. Naruto said, with Yukikaze nodding and then shaking her head. There are exceptions, mostly in Warder, but they cannot turn liberators into arms due to their frail bonds. I say again, if you do not turn yourself in, we will use force, Kasumi shouted through the mic, ending the conversation. Protect the others, Naruto suddenly instructed Yukikaze, Kagaya, and S before taking out. Wait, Naruto-san, Momori said as Naruto made a beeline towards the outside before being stopped by Mirai. I'll go, Mirai said, but Naruto held her back. No, I got this. I trust you to protect he others as well while I deal with our friends here. Naruto countered with a stern glare. I understand, Mirai said reluctantly, and blushed when Naruto gave her a kiss on the cheek. Naruto smiled at her before walking fully out in the open with this hands in his pockets with a cool look on his face that was all business. He ignored Miyasato and Kuzumi's glares as he focused on Kasumi. Naruto. Uzumaki Naruto. Naruto introduced himself, but you already knew that from Charlotte, right? Naruto's empathic abilities informed him of his new friends and comrades, concerned for him, and also informed him of Charlotte's rage. Kasumi staying cautious. Uzumaki-san, right? Did you do it? Were you trying to sell stolen goods to these people? Kasumi asked civilly. Quote, stealing from the rich to give to the poor to child's play compared to the good deeds I did on the mainland before coming here. So what if I did? Naruto countered with a cheeky question of his own, while groaning internally. They know he's new to Mermaid Island, so how is it that they think that he knew where their secret factory is located? Even he didn't know its location underground, and what would he sell them for? He wasn't aware what currency was in effect here. If so, then we warder must arrest you as a criminal, and take you in. Kasumi declared seriously, with Naruto scoffing. Fine, as long as you leave this place. Then I'll come with you. The others are not involved. Naruto said, but Kasumi shook her head. It's not possible. Everyone behind you is responsible for harboring you, so we must take them in as well. Kasumi said solemnly, with Naruto growling. Then we are at an impasse. You're not taking a single resident here back to Vesta, so you might as well turn back and drive back to your little castle before I decide to get violent. Naruto snarled warningly. You cheeky brat, know your place. Miyasato and Kuzumi charged at Naruto, who grinned at their stupidity. An orgasmic yell suddenly echoed through the area, startling the two knights as Naruto used Great Clone Explosion and exploded, sending them into two armored cars and knocking them out for the count. The real Naruto then stepped out of the inn, with Yukikaze in her arm form, Snowy Wind, sheathed in his gun sheath. If that's the case, then I want a lawyer. I didn't steal your surplus of goods, and no one here is an accomplice. Hell, the thief isn't even here, so there's no reason for you to be here. You now have two options. Option A. Take me to the governor without any questions asked and not in handcuffs, mind you, while leaving everyone here alone. Option B. You can go without me and leave this place at once, or I will kick all of your asses and send you back to your governor with more than bruised oversized egos. It's your call. Hell, All Might, tell you the one who really nicked your stuff if you choose option A. You would really do that? Kasumi questioned, not expecting that part of the deal. Is my hair blonde? 4 eyes. Naruto countered. Clever kid. Give them a deal they can't refuse to increase the chances of meeting the ringleader of Warder. Kurama praised. Of course. You won't tell them that it's cardboard that stole their stuff, right? Quote, of course not. That's why I said, might. Not my fault if they didn't catch on. Naruto confirmed with an inward smile. Oh tilde, so tilde clever indeed. That you are, Yukikaze said as Naruto hooked his gun sheath containing her to his side. Naruto went to Kasumi with his hands up to show that he meant no more harm, but familiar red rope harpoons suddenly shot themselves towards Naruto, who was then pushed out of way before he could react, and captured Mirai, who took the blow for Naruto, as Ainge made herself known. Mirai, Naruto shouted before turning to a shocked Kasumi. What is the meaning of this, Shiger Kasumi? No, this wasn't me. Kasumi protested as a haughty laugh echoed through the village. Who would have thought it was you? Quote, Charlotte made herself unknown, donned with floating armor bits and gauntlets. Charlotte, he was just about to surrender. Please let me handle this, Kasumi pleaded. Absolutely not. These two have shamed me twice. Charlotte said as claws sprang from her gauntlet a la Deathstrike. They will pay for resisting Warder. Ritter grunts came out of the armored cars and surrounded them. Much to Kasumi's protest, the extras were then fondled by their liberators to the point of ecstasy, causing them to shift into identical swords and guns arms that pale in comparison to what Naruto has seen so far. Well, it would seem that the deal's off. But maybe it's for the best, because I know now that I really can't trust you. Naruto said, unhooking his weapon as Momori tended to Mirai. Time to have some fun. Naruto and Mirai, with Momori, versus the Ritter of Warder. Cue random battle insert song here, like a Pokemon battle theme, or the yet-to-be-released Valkyrie Drive Bikuni battle theme. Or one you think is better. Let the battle begin. The Ritter grunts opened fire with their gun arms, with Naruto ducking and weaving through the bullets. It allowed the sword-wielding grunts to close in to strike Naruto, but Naruto quickly dispatched them with several well-placed Iaijutsu strikes. To Naruto, this felt like another day at the office, battling waves of enemies before getting to the boss, which would turn out to be an elite ninja, and boy was that pattern rampant back in the ninja world involving Zenin, good ninja, and Akunin, evil ninja. It was so repetitive that during the Shinobi Battle Royale aka School Burning Festival, Naruto just barreled through the grunts before dropkicking the elite bosses in their faces. Naruto got both Yumi and Miyabi edible arrangement gift baskets from the States as apology when they finally became friends. They resisted at first out of pride, but that crumbled into pieces at the sight of the demonic visage that was Naruto's Kitsune-style Hania mask. Good times. Focus, Kit, Kurama shouted, snapping Naruto out of memory lane. Naruto rolled his eyes and spun out while lashing out with snowy wind, keeping the grunts away as Mamori tried to free Mirei. Mirei-san, hold on, run, get back inside, no, hurry, why did you go alone, without telling me? I asked you not to be rash. Quote ellipsis quote, so melodramatic, just kiss her already. Kurama boomed, voicing Naruto's irritation as he kicked a Ritter grunt far away. What a cheap show, Charlotte muttered in spite, moving her head to T. He sighed as the Ritter Naruto just kicked away flew past her. Mirei-san, you, Mirei, you baka. Mamori cried out before outright kissing a surprised Mirei. Wind style. Great breakthrough. Nah. Ruto blew back the rest of the grunts and charged chakra through snowy wind before unleashed several wind blades that made contact with the Ritters and reverted the arms back to their human forms. Forget them, Kit. Just turn around and enjoy the moves that little virgin is putting on the soldier. Kurama advised with a lecherous grin. And leave them open for Charlotte to strike. No, Naruto replied flatly. Naruto dono. It's an unspoken rule that no matter what, no one can interrupt a liberator from liberating their extra partners. Yukikaze pointed out with a small laugh. That pretty much makes them voyeurs. Naruto said after a while, as Mamori led his orgasmic cry. Hugh, Red Sun, from Metal Gear Rising Revengeance. Fusion trans. Liberate arm. Mirei chanted as Mamori transfer med into her arm form in a massive burst of energy that free her from her binding. Nice of you to join the party. Naruto mused as Mirei stood with him, wielding Mamori, Iku's. Naruto and Rei crossed their swords as they prepared for battle. I've been waiting for this. Energy wings sprouted from what was assumed to be her floating shield bits, allowing her to fly forward to attack. He aimed to skewer the two troublemakers, but they disappeared from her sight in an instant. The next thing she knew, Naruto and Mirei flew past her, and the next second, the claws on her arm shattered. My arm. It should be capable of slashing through anything. Impossible, she screamed in denial. It goes to show you the differences in class level between our arms, don't you agree? Naruto taunted as he swiped his hand on snowy wind, causing Yukikaze to giggle as if ticklish. Charlotte snarled and flew towards Naruto and Mirei, who charged to engage her as well. Naruto sheathed snowy wind in his gun sheath in preparation to finish off Charlotte, but both he and Mirei were suddenly blindsided and knocked away from Charlotte. Oh no, I didn't expect her to get involved. Yukikaze opted to recover from the unexpected attack. No. Look out, Naruto dono. Quote, as Yukikaze's warning rang in his mind, Naruto saw Shigeru Kasumi zip towards them, crouched down, and delivered a kick to the bottom of his chin, forcing him up with Mirei getting caught as well. They were thrown up into the air and went crashing to the ground. Naruto-san, Kagaya called out as Yukikaze and Mamori were forcibly reverted back to their human forms and collapsed in a heap. Son of a bitch, Kurama growled over the ringing in Naruto's head. What the fuck was that? Martial arts. Quote, impressive, Commander of Water. You live up to your zero-arm name, Shigeru Kasumi. Charlotte praised as Kasumi regained her composure. I didn't even sense her coming. Naruto groaned mentally before realizing what he just said. And that's not a joke for you to enjoy, Kurama. Quote, is this really the time for jokes? Quote, turn yourselves in, Kasumi advised after adjusting her glasses. She then frowned. Naruto struggled to get to a vertical base, the blow from her kick to his head showing its effect as he saw multiple everything that overlapped in his vision. Naruto dono. Yukikaze groaned weakly. Why, as her master finally made it to his feet. Bite me. He spat as he limped towards the four-eyed commander. Kasumi sighed and charged forward, delivering another kick to Naruto's head that made contact. She frowned when his head barely budged his time, with him moving his head to look at her with an eerie death glare. Undaunted, Kasumi delivered yet another kick, this one stronger than the last to knock him out. But he did the one thing she, nor everyone else, never expected him to do. He outright headbutted her kick, causing her to stagger back as her foot, along with Naruto's head, now throbbing with pain. Gate of opening. Kai. Quote. Ignoring the pain throbbing in his head, Naruto used Hiraishin to flash in front of a surprised Kasumi and delivered his own kick to Kasumi's chin, launching her high into the air. Next, he used Shadow of the Dancing Leaf to get behind Kasumi and wrapped his chakra chains around her body like wrapping a mummy before using his affinity to the wind L. Meant to rotate in the air with her at ferocious speeds. Izuna Lotus Drop. Quote. Despite her struggling to get free, Naruto connected with the spinning piledriver headfirst, creating a shockwave that blew him back to the direction of the inn and caught by Kagaya, who had enough of being on the sidelines, with S flanking her. Impossible, Charlotte whispered, stepping back in horror and seeing Kasumi unmoving. The Uzumaki survived several of the Commander of Warder's direct kicks to his head, only to shrug them off and succeed in countering with a devastating move of his own that seemed to take a lot out of him. As this, the power of an Uzumaki. It's just like an image of a busty girl with purple hair and an ahoge that can turn light pink and later black-red eyes, a beautiful body, a disarming smile, and a desire to help everyone, whether it's a friend, an enemy, or a complete stranger. And the first person ever to defy Warder, a fact that pisses Charlotte off to no end, as the figure of that girl overlapped with Naruto owned after being helped up to a vertical base by Kagaya and Ease. No, I refuse to accept them. I won't let another one like her exist. Charlotte screamed as she flew at them. No, Kagaya yelled, moving in front of Naruto in an effort to shield him. Then, Naruto grabbed her by her waist and weakly kissed her, with Kagaya surprised by this action but accepted it. Wrapping S in his other arm, he pulled back from Kagaya, causing her to whine as she kissed S. Sorry, but I'll take responsibility after this, Naruto murmured weakly as he pulled back from S2. Fusion, Trans, Liber, 8, Arm, Naruto chanted weakly as Kagaya and Ease shifted into their arm forms. Kagaya turned into a large sword with a hilt guard detachable crescent sickle blades. And Ease turned into a long blue sword with a long handle, and its blade looking as if it was made with crystal, with Kagaya's and S's facial features appearing in his vision and their mental avatar. Wind style. Resounding surge. Quote. Bringing Kagaya and S down, he unleashed a surge of wind energy that engulfed Charlotte and blew her away as her clothes shredded, ruining her uniform as she landed next to Kasumi, who was stirring as Naruto fell to a knee with his new blades supporting him until Yukikaze and Mirai held him steady, with the latter holding Mamori. He tried to charge chakra through his new blades, but his now complete disorientation and migraine made it impossible for him to focus thanks to the various hard blows he took to the head. Naruto, steady now, Kagaya yelled as Naruto tried to stay conscious. Damn it, Kit, you're always so reckless. Now how are you going to drive them out of the village? Kurama boomed, with the fox channeling chakra to quickly heal Naruto, even while I'm healing you. You have no way of continuing the fight. Quote, I can still go, Naruto shot back as he used Kagaya and S to pull himself up, plus, I still have. Damn Uzumaki, Charlotte swore as a dazed Kasumi finally recovered, it's impossible for you to run around free on the Warder's watch now. You're too much trouble, we're taking you in as our slave, one way or another what? A revving sound interrupted her, drawing their attention to a motorcycle that flew over Charlotte and Kasumi and skidded to a halt on front of Naruto, Mirai, and Mamori. That's, Yukikaze squeaked, recognizing the rogue that just arrived, much to Charlotte and Kasumi's displeasure. Why are you here, lady? Mermaid Island, Torino Village. HHHEEEELLLOOOOO, nurse. Kurama whistled loudly with a big whoop at the appearance of the newcomer on a unique-looking motorcycle. I don't know, Kurama, but I like her already for saving our asses. Naruto replied mentally to his Biju, but still. Can they be trusted? Quote, they can, but it's still up in the air since they're not forthcoming with information, Yukikaze said, but was glad that the biker girl intervened, until you arrived. They were the top vigilantes of Mermaid Island, not that they cared. I see, so here we have the truth. You were behind this incident, lady, Charlotte declared with certainty, dramatically pointing at the biker girl. Charlotte's number 2, Ange, went on the attack, attempting to capture Lady, but the biker girl used her motorcycle to defect and shatters her rope spears, forcing Ange to regroup with the grunts of the Ritter tending to her. No, don't jump to conclusions. Lady chided the second in command of Warder. Then why are you here? Kasumi demanded, as the chance of a peaceful resolution deteriorated rapidly in her mind as she held the back of her neck from pain caused by Naruto's Izuna Lotus drop. Well, if I had to give a reason, lad. Why? Lady mused as she got off her motorcycle. That boy, and those girls are intriguing. Right, Jay. In response, the motorcycle suddenly formed back into, that's right, Rain. Mother of God, Kurama gasped, with the jaw of the fox's mouth dropping at the appearance of the woman that was the biker girl's motorcycle. She looks like the MILF version of Murasaki-chan, but her boobs are even bigger. Naruto agreed. Despite his injured state, that motorcycle was a person. Mamori squeaked in surprise. An arm, Mirai murmured, surprised as well. Meanwhile on a cliff a ways away, Ing spied on the action through her binoculars. Hasumi Rain, Lady J, not just Warder, but Lady as well. It's like a mermaid power players all-star team. What's going on? What are you doing here? Maifeng looked behind her to see somewhere she never expected to show, flanked by someone with a sword resting on her shoulder. My lord, and, you. Back in the village, the top Ritter W'er. None too pleased to see duo known as Lady. Lady. Fools who act selfishly on mermaid deserve Puni's rhymes. Unless idiots like you start behaving, the Watchers will declare us unfit to live in society. Charlotte said angrily. Oh, they already decided that, Rain scoffed. Rain Hasumi, type. Liberator extra rating, biker. Does anyone have the number of this lady? Wait, what? Naruto muttered when he heard that. And Kagaya sighing in resignation, Watchers. What is she talking about? Putting the way you think into account, what until you get a load of that you're about to hear? Warder's reason for their tyranny. Kagaya drawled, her eyes showing in Naruto's vision, twinkling in amusement. That is why we must create an orderly way of living, to prove even with our powers, we pose no threat to the world beyond. Then the Watchers will allow us to leave this island and return to our lives in peace. That's just Warder logic, Rain countered in amusement. It has nothing to do with us. Lady J, type. Liberator extra rating, 10 kilograms. Murasaki's long-lost sister. That's right. Besides, who knows if the Watchers really exist? Maybe you made all that up to get the girls invested to listen. Suddenly, a burst of energy interrupted her, with everyone turning to see Naruto shooting straight up and dusting himself off, looking completely okay as he cracked his head to the side. I get the gist of things now. It's all coming together, and it makes me wish that I was still ignorant and not as smart as I am right now. Datbeo, Naruto said as he glared at Charlotte and Kasumi. What do you mean by that? And what did you just do? 1 second, you were in no condition to stand, but now you are. Kasumi said as Naruto stepped past between the lady. Gate of healing, but that's besides the point, Kasumi-san. Naruto responded as he took off his orange jacket, red flames and black stripes designs and tossed it to the side. After hearing what I heard from you two, I'll earned that Mamori's not the only naive idiot on this island. Hey, Mamori shouted at him indignantly, but he ignored her. What's that supposed to mean? Charlotte snarled at him, and was getting more furious at his slight look of pity. It's exactly what it means, and it's actually shocking that you don't see it. The government discovered that there are those who can turn into weapons, and those who enable it. So they kidnap and ship us off to an island in the middle of nowhere and isolate us. Why? Because we're their deterrents, capable of transforming into any kind of weapon with a partner. With much power we wield. Do you really think that these Watchers, will let us go home back into civilized society. News flash ladies, they will never let us go home, no matter if we act civilized or not. That is the truth and reality you're trying to deny. Naruto explained, with everyone around him flinching as the horrible truth swept over them. No, you're wrong, one of the Ritters shouted at him, but took a step back when Naruto glared darkly at her. Of course you would deny it, since you haven't seen or experienced what I've experienced firsthand or as a bystander. That castle is conditioning you into sheep who can't even bother to think for themselves, let alone act with rational thought. On that note, subjugating the lower ranks through your enforcement of law and order to show that you can still live in society with your powers is no different than tyranny. Hell, like Lady Rain here said, do these so-called Watcher really exist? Naruto questioned with a hard glare while gesturing to Rain. We still don't know if it's true or not, that we don't. I've been here for months and I've found no evidence of any recording equipment the Watchers would use to spy on us. Why? Ukika's remarked after she fully recovered, with S suddenly shifting out of her arm form. There are no spy drones flying around either, she added in a monotone voice. If that's the case, then Lady Rain is right, and you're just using that excuse to keep everyone in line at Castle Vesta. Nevertheless, I'm now giving you a warning which I strongly suggest you heed. Turn back and leave, or stay and get your asses kicked. Because I'm no longer going to be holding back, even if you are girls. Naruto snarled with a burst of killing intent, startling the rest of the Ritter. No, please don't get violent, Mamori pleaded, but Yukikaze held her back. I'm going to if they force the issue, even if it means you resenting me forever, Mamori. Naruto said coldly, with his eyes flashing into red EYs with slits before turning back to their normal blue, still holding the slit to give his appearance one that held a fierce intent. Now, decide. Kasumi grit her teeth, as there was no hesitation within Naruto's voice at his declaration. And with his ability to somehow to quickly regenerate, she and the rest of the Ritter would be fighting a battle of attrition, more so if Lady joined the battle. Plus, she can't afford any more Ritter grunts to be injured, not to mention that he's too similar to her. Very well, we shall withdraw, Kasumi decided, with Charlotte looking at her in shock, once cooler heads prevail. Please come back to Castle Vesta, where the governor will no doubt meet you. Naruto nodded, that's all I ask for. Naive, you're too soft, Kasumi-san. Charlotte snapped and pointed at Naruto, that man. Those women, and Lady, they are all enemies of Warder. For that, there's only one course of action to take, punishment to the disorderly. Charlotte, no, Kasumi shouted as more backup grunts swarmed out of the armored vehicles. You're really not helping your case. Naruto drawled, putting Kagaya on his shoulder and rolled his eyes as the liberators made out with their extras partners until they turned into weapons. Take down all down, Charlotte ordered, with the Ritter Liberator pointed their guns at Naruto and the girls behind them. Seriously, how can she be so stupid? Charlotte is basically proving that there's no way they'll be able to return to society, and proving Rain's theory right that Warder is using that excuse to subjugate everyone. Even worse, Kasumi is doing nothing to stop her. Now I really can't trust you, Warder. I warned you, Naruto said as he twirled Kagaya around and prepared to fight. Warder can't be trusted, plain and simple. And if anything like same thing to happening on the other islands, then Naruto will have to put returning to the mainland on the back burner and deal with the situations on the other islands. Please, stop, Mamori pleaded, but S held her back this time to keep her from interfering. Is this really the best course of action? Mirai asked Naruto as she came up to him. They're the ones who insist on fighting, with Kasumi doing nothing to stop Charlotte, so yes, I believe that it is, unless you're like Mamori wants me to stop, Naruto said while looking at her with a critical eye. I won't. We both know that sometimes there's no choice but to fight, Mirai said and stood with Naruto to face down Warder. Meanwhile, Rain had to listen to what Naruto had to say, and while impressed by his words, reasoning, and logic, he still had so much to prove in her mind, but what he showed was more than enough as she came up next to him. You are so interesting, Uzumaki Naruto. Putting a hand to his whiskered face, she turned his head towards her own and kissed him, catching him off guard. Before he could do anything to respond, she wrapped her arms around his neck and swung her body before transforming to an arm that he caught. A cannon, he said as Rain appeared in his vision. Unlike Akira, you really are a demon lord, and this is the proof. And being inside, well, this is a pleasant surprise. Rain said as her mental avatar appeared in Naruto's mindscape. Kasumi Rain, was it? Are you looking to be part of my demon lord's arsenal? Kurama asked with a critical eye. I'll pass for now until he proves himself more. Rain said as he looked up at the giant fox, and you are. Until you prove to be an ally to the kit, you can call me Kyuubi for now. Kurama answered with narrowed eyes and focused back to the act he advised to the blonde Uzumaki, they won't die. Naruto went and threw Kagaya, like a boomerang to take out the tanks before flipping AR. And firing several high-powered blasts with Rain, taking out the liberators and forcing the extras out of their arm forms. Whoa, Naruto whistled as he caught Kagaya, and looked at Rain, with increased respect for her power. They've been forced out of their arms with a single blast. That is Rain's Hisatsu Waza, disarmament buster. Lady J said from behind Naruto, his arm between her massive bust. Can any arm use this special move, or is it unique? Naruto asked over his shoulder. Depends on the extra as the chances are likely each has different abilities, but it is possible EY have similar moves within their skills. It also depends on her power level as well. Lady J explained. Special move. As if. Charlotte, I just had about enough of you two. Naruto growled Hen he saw Charlotte and Kasumi charging at him. Naruto charged forward as well and flipped forward, preparing to fire Rain at them, until Lady J glided past him and transformed into her motorcycle arm form. Positioned in a way so that Naruto could land on her. What? Naruto yelled after landing on the seat of Lady J, and blushed when he saw how the feat was designed, making it appear as if he was straddling Lady J's body beneath her. She entered drive without her partner. Charlotte yelled in shock. That's how strong our bond is, between J and I. Rain declared through her arm, Naruto, drive her. Quote, Naruto snapped out of it and revved the throttle, shooting forward to counter Charlotte's attack, with the wheels breaking Charlotte's claws. Charlotte cried out as she straggled back. Allow Naruto to use the momentum of Lady J to smack her right across the face. 5 across the eyes, bitch. Naruto yelled as Charlotte flew back. Naruto, heads up, Kurama yelled. Wah. Naruto looked to see Kasumi land on Lady J to execute a spinning roundhouse kick to Naruto, but Naruto grinned. Fool me once. Naruto revved Lady J and spun her around to dodge as Kagaya hifted out of her arm form to parry Kasumi's attack, stunning her before Naruto used Rain to blast her off, damaging her clothes as she flew back as well until she landed on her feet. Now I see. You favor surprise attacks, Shiger Kasumi-san. But now that I know that, they won't work against me now that I'm serious and have allies at my side in my arms. Naruto said as Rain transformed out of her arms state. You can't hope to beat us without a weapon. Rain added as Lady J transformed back as well. Without a partner. Lady J added smugly. Is she still running away from reality? Rain wonderfully playfully before smirking. That girl, Kenjo Hibiki. So she has a partner. Naruto said silently, and looked interested as Kasumi's composure broke as she now looked engaged, a berserk button. Don't you dare mention that name. Kasumi practically screamed and prepared to attack, with Naruto looking to finish her off. Just as Kasumi bore down on Naruto, she was knocked away with a punch that sounded like a shotgun. Blow her back, with her attacker landing in front of Naruto. Oh, no, not you too. Charlotte yelled in frustration as the attacker stood to full height. Neapolitan, aka Neo type. Liberator extra rating, mute. Someone has an extreme blonde fetish. She's here. Yukikaze wailed before hiding behind Mirei. Who? Naruto asked as the girl, known as Neo now casted a predatory glance at him. You might want to be careful of her, Naruto. She has a fetish for blondes. Lady J said, causing him to groan. Neo gave him a wink before turning her attention back to the Ritter. I have had just about enough of you rebels. Charlotte screamed as she activated her wings. Halt! An authoritative voice suddenly rang out, stopping everyone. That voice! Charlotte gasped, recognizing it. Everyone looked to see an individual walking towards them who's 5 feet 8 inches tall with short red hair, green eyes, an androgynous figure, and wearing a military uniform with red trim and gold braid. Who? Naruto asked as the person walked toward them. That's. Yukikaze stammered, wondering how that could be here. Well, I never though. We would be able to see him in a place like this. Rain said with interest. The leader of Warder, the governor, Lady J murmured. Until today, the only male in all of Mermaid, Hiragi Akira. Rain said to Naruto. A Bishuan pretty boy, Ka. What interested Naruto more is that the girls of Torino were looking at him with admiration, as if the atmosphere lightened with his arrival. This is the guy who's in charge of Warder. He seems nice, Naruto murmured before frowning as Charlotte and Kasumi went up to him. Appearances can be deceiving. Still, he noticed Neo shaking her head after hearing him. Governor. Kasumi saluted. Why are you here? Charlotte asked. To tell you the truth. Truth. That's right. The one who stole from Vesta is not here. I actually just met her moments ago, but she got away. Akira said, finally clearing the air. I must apologize. I shame the name of Governor of Warder. As that's so, Kasumi said in resignation. But the tracker signal was coming from here. Charlotte protested. The culprit sold the goods to these people, so they are victims as well. Akira explained before walking past them. I'm sorry to have scared you. Oi. Kurama groaned as Naruto saw that Akira directed his statement towards Momori, who was now flustered and started dusting herself off. Look at that blush. Akira stopped in front of Momori and took one knee to bow. Much to Mirei's ire, and would have done something until Naruto gave her a look. I officially apologize as Governor of Warder. I'm sorry. Yes, Momori stammered as her blush increased. Please, keep the goods that you received. It's the least I can do. Yes, is it just me, or does Hiragi Akira sound like a male Miyabi? Naruto wondered to himself quietly as Akira turned his attention to himself. Lady, and Neo. So, with that said, too bad. It seems we're missed the opportunity to fight, Akira-sama, Rain said with false regret. I must regretfully decline. I don't like pain. Akira replied and looked to the inn, where Kazami smiled and nodded at him, before he turned his attention to Naruto. Uzumaki Naruto, was it? We finally meet. Indeed. Nice to meet another guy like myself on his island. Sorry for roughing up your girls. They were not being very friendly, Datbeo. Naruto in a cheerfully apologetic tone. It's all right. We can start over in terms of welcoming you to the island. Whenever you're free, drop by the Vesta, where we can finally have a one-on-one meeting. I can only hope you'll join us in the end. Akira said once he took a look at Naruto. And noticed one of his legs shaking slightly. Depends on what you have to offer, but I'll take you up on that. Naruto replied with a grin. Please do. Until now, you should get some rest. Akira advised, nodding at him. Naruto looked slightly alarmed at that and sighed in resignation as Akira turned away from him and raised his fist. Warder, move out, he commanded. Understood. Moving out. Kasumi confirmed as the uninjured Ritter helped their injured comrades into the armored cars Akira bought himself. Governor, Charlotte protested, clearing not happy about letting the troublesome rebels walk. Charlotte, the leader of Warder's orders are absolute. Kasumi chided, glad to finally have control of the situation with the governor's support. With that, Warder finally left Torino village. That was close call, wasn't it? Rain mused until Mirei suddenly tried to deck her. What's your problem? You tried to kiss me, before kissing Naruto-san. Mirei said angrily, as she managed to dodge her attempt beforehand before moving on to Naruto. Mirei, enough. Rain, thanks for your help. Naruto said gratefully before planting a kiss on I like that. Ain praised as Lady J suddenly flipped forward. He really is interesting, she mused before turning into her motorcycle arm state, with Rain getting on. I like you, Uzumaki Naruto, we will meet again. Just keep in mind how valuable you are to a lot of people. Rain said with a wink before driving off. Lady, That power. Soldier class, Mirai said to herself. Oh, at a time like this, have I finally met? Mamori thought to herself as her mind was now full of thoughts about the governor of Water, Hiragi Akira. Neo then recognized the look on Mamori's face and shook her head as disbelief as Naruto came up to her. Neo, right, thanks for your help too, Datbeo. Neo licked her lips and smirked at him before taking off herself by using the recoils on her gauntlets, disappearing into the forest. Despite Yukikaze's reservations, Neo can be trusted, as she's a part guardian of Torino Village along with her extra partners she has equipped. Looks like she's returning to her roaming mission, Kagaya assured her new liberator partner, who nodding. Cool, because I forgot to mention about the Gate of Healing ability, that it temporarily revitalizes me. As he said it, he fell back. Wards until Mirai caught him and rested his head on her lap. Geez, you're so reckless, Mirai gently chided her fellow fighter, stroking his hair as his blades gathered around him to help him into the inn. Watching the proceedings was the girl in shadow with purple hair and red eyes, and smiled at the thought of meeting the Uzumaki soon. The Maelstrom and Black God will soon unite to conquer the 5 islands. Mermaid Island, you owe me big time, Kit. If you weren't an Uzumaki and didn't have me inside you, you would most likely be dead. Kurama growled, channeling chakra to heal Naruto. Inside you, please don't make it weird. Naruto groaned as he assisted in healing his body by using the healing jutsu. Screw you, Kit, screw you. Quote, Naruto was currently outdoors on one of the hills sitting cross-legged while healing his body from the recent fight. He admitted to himself that he took a few beatings from the hostile girls on the island, with the fight between Charlotte and Kasumi against him being the worst. But now that he knows everything about the going-ons within Mermaid Island, he no longer need to hold back. From now on, he's going full power, no matter if his opponents are female or not. Which is inevitable due to the fact that the island was full of girls. Opening one eye, he spied the residents of Torino Village chastising Maifeng, who upon returning to the village after Warder left was immediately swarmed by the girls, who were rightfully pissed. Maifeng pretty much brought Warder to their doorstep due to not checking her loot, and now that their safety's been compromised. Who knows if Warder decides to come back and take back every girl who escaped from Vesta. It would be war between the Warder's Ritter and Torino's Guardians, which would result in unnecessary casualties on both sides. Speaking of which, as Warder left Torino Village, Naruto summoned shadow clones and Hang transformed them into ants to infiltrate the armored cars to spy on the higher-ups. With a few of them dispelling, carrying some interesting dialogue. Thank you, Governor. Quote, I only did the least I could do. There is no need for conflict. Yes, I agree absolutely. Quote, damn her, damn that woman, telling the governor, if this continues, I won't let this slide. I swear I will destroy you, Kurokami Madaka. Quote, Kit, that Charlotte girl is trouble. It sounds like she invaded the village behind the governor's back, and used the excuse to capture Lil Ironboard to waste the village and bring everything back. Her action speaks louder than her words, and boobs. Quote, it wouldn't surprise me at all if she were to stage a coup d'etat and take over Warder. She seems like the type to do so. She didn't look happy to see the governor when he arrived. She was determined to take everyone out until Bishuan-san arrived. She's the one we need to watch out for, seeing that she's loud like Sakura and has a superiority complex like the Uchiha back in Konoha. That's one combination I wouldn't wish on anyone. You're not wrong about that, Kit, but just that remember these girls had a similar experience to that Mamori girl being kidnapped from their daily life and shot to this artificial island in the middle of nowhere to be isolated and possibly be used as the government's deterrence for their wars against whoever they may fight against in the future. Quote, war is inevitable. We all know that from my various missions with Konoha, the Mugen Tenshin clan, Hayabasa Ryu, and the good ninja faction with Hanzo. People are always looking for something to top the others in a fight. And we liberators and X-Stars are no expectation, which is why you're going to change things with those plans developing in your mind, right? Quote, exactly. After what I've seen with Warder, I can bet that fur on your back that the same thing is happening on the other 4 islands. I'm going to make that 6th island my base of operations for myself and for others that are like-minded with me. Like a mother base, if you will. We're going to leave this island, and head for the 6th island surrounded by those swirling tides. Water will not be the one using those resources, we will. As soon as you analyze that shield that's surrounding the island. In case you're forgetful like your mother is at times, there's one that keeping you and the other lovely ladies here. I suggest that we deal with that tomorrow at dawn. Until then, enjoy the company with those beautiful blades you added to your ever-growing harem. Quote, hey, just because girls are interested in me, does not mean that they're officially part of my growing family. Kushina-chan would be proud of you, Kit. If she were still around, she would be gushing over the fact that she has a higher chance for grandchildren to spoil, and the Uzumaki clan rejuvenated. Hell, in the will that your parents set up, they gave you their blessing for you to enact the CRA, the Clan Restoration Act, that written in the Shinobi International Law for the elemental countries. Quote, the optional law that requires me to have multiple wives to restore my clan should I be the last one of my clan, or two in my case. I never heard about it until Anko-chan mentioned it when she saw Hinata-chan and Ino-chan fighting in front of me. I didn't care all it until the others girls cornered me with them. You were so close to going to second base that time too, fuzzball. Anyway Kit, you have a family now, and it's best that you don't forget them, just as they won't forget you. Not only that, but there are girls that need your help here on Mermaid Island, and the other islands as well, and those who will eventually become the Demon Lord's weaponry, your arsenal. What those girls need, is an Uzumaki who's the fabled Mao. Not the government who'll use them as expendable weapons and throw them away once their usage is up. You have to take control. Quote, one step at a time, Kurama. One step at a time, Datbeo. Dispelling the healing jutsu, Naruto stood up, rolling his neck, stretched to work out the clinks in his body, and flexed his fingers. He then closed his eyes and focused one of the ALS on his body that limited some of his power and strength. With the way his battles went lately, the seal need to be shred in order to not get his ass kicked again. Kai. He muttered and released a small burst of chakra. The seal shattered, and Naruto felt a rush of power, feeling rejuvenated and causing him to breathe deeply to calm his body so that it would get accustomed to the new level of power he now need to control. Hiragi Akira, Governor of Water, we will meet again, and if I don't like what you're selling, then I will cut you and water down. Believe it, I sure believe it, and with Mirai as one of your blades and a fellow fighter, Water doesn't stand a chance. Kurama back to Torino village. Flashback, battlefield, some time ago. It was hell in the abandoned city that Naruto arrived in via Eagle Dive. With explosions being constant as Naruto surveyed his surroundings. The higher-ups are going to be pissed that you took this independent mission. Kurama said slowly, with Naruto gaining a tick mark. The good ninja coots can kiss my ass. I'm doing this and there's nothing they can do to stop me. The girls can handle escort missions, while I deal with more serious one that churns their stomachs. Naruto shot back as he adjusted his assassin gauntlet he recreated from the Assassin's Creed video game series. He really has Hibari to thank for getting him into video games. Because he discovered cool things in there that he recreated for himself in real life, and the assassin gauntlet, complete with a hidden blade with a phantom blade projectile mod, a grappling hook, a silent dart gun, and encrusted brass knuckles, was one of those recreations that took a month to get the materials and construct, and 4 months of trial and error to make functional, and that was a year ago for him. Taking out his iDroid profiler, based off the iDroid in use by a mercenary group called the Diamond Dogs, and the profiler in a video game called Watch Dogs, Naruto activated it to find his target. In reality, the Japanese government's R&D department were creating something similar to those phones for their Black Ops division, and managed to create that has the exact same characteristics on both devices. But it was stolen by a trader who was looking to sell it for big money on the black market on the darknet. Naruto, who was with the Mugen Tenshin at the time, just happened to come across a targeted terrorist cell it was sold to, and took it for himself. It took 1 year to learn its ins and outs to use for himself. His target was the leader of AR. Radical extremist group full of like-minded individuals who wanted revenge upon the United States of America for the 2 atomic bombs dropped on Hiroshima and Nagasaki, with the leader, known as Shinmudai, particularly sharing the same couple syllables as the prime Yoma, as the self-proclaimed last student of the doomsday cult Om Shinrikyo before they split. Remember Kit, killing him won't end his organization. I have a feeling that they're like a hydra. Cut off one head, and 2 more grow in its place. Kurama said as the blonde started bounded off the rooftops. Yeah, which is why you go for the heart. The nerve center of the hydra. You pierce the heart, it dies. The body and head cannot live without the heart. And you can believe that, Dadbeo, Naruto countered before focusing on his search for his main target. Avoiding any conflict by moving among the shadows. Back to the present, Mermaid Village, Torino Village, nighttime. Ya, Naruto-san, I'm glad to see ya doing okay. Those kicks Kasumi gave ya really thrown ya for a loop, Maifeng said cheerfully as Naruto entered the Torino Inn. I wouldn't have gotten that way if somebody checked their goods before coming back here. Naruto said, talking through smiling clenched teeth, with his eyes not sharing the same sentiment. Ah, don't be like that. At least you're looking fine, so no harm done, right? Maifeng remarked back, with Naruto getting a tick mark. I hope that you haven't charged the village for your services after that major screw-up. Wah, no, of course not, but since water got involved, I've waived the fee for one time only. She was cut off when an impending sense of doom enveloped her, causing her to shake in fear as Naruto, not losing his friendly smile, summoned his kitsune-style Hania mask that loomed over the Kansai loli. Now I see why you're considered a cheapskate, Maifeng. You're really lucky that I rather take a nap now instead of ripping you a new one, but rest assured at you and I will be talking about the future, real, soon. Naruto promised her, with his Hania mask growing better with each last word he spoke. Hi, I got ya. Just please put that away. Maifeng wailed, flailing her arms. Put what away? My fly isn't open, so what should you possibly be talking about? Naruto asked a bit too cheerfully with his mask right in Maifeng's face, causing her to finally faint. Oops. Shrugging, Naruto went upstairs to check up on Momori and Mirai, something he wished he didn't do once he stepped inside their room after knocking on the door. What the fuck? Kurama boomed, sounding off the blonde Jinchuriki's thoughts word for word. Oh, Naruto-san, you're okay. Momori squealed the moment she saw him. Exactly what in the hell is this, Momori? Naruto asked slowly and none too nicely, his eyes twitching as he considered filing charges for assault against Momori on his eyes for the room's walls now being littered with posters of Akira. Maifeng got these for me as an apology. She really is a jack of all trades, Momori said excitedly and swooned. Now I always get to be with Hiragi-san. What a nightmare, Mirai muttered, with Naruto feeling sorry for her. Did you say something? Momori asked, not hearing her partner. No, I did not, ma'am. Mirai said mumbly. Personally, you're jumping ship a bit too fast, Momori. Naruto stated point blank with a disappointed look at the redhead. What do you mean? Momori asked, obviously confused. Isn't Mirai-chan here your partner? Naruto asked with a deadpan stare. Keigai. A-chan told me that you were asking a lot of things about Hiragi Akira, with one of them wondering if he has a girlfriend. I was just interested, that's all. Momori replied while flustered. I'm so tired. So much happened today, so let's go to bed early. Momori suggested as she jumped into her bed. Yes, Mirai agreed and turned off the lights. It's all right, Naruto-san. She can do whatever she wants. As long as it makes her happy. She whispered so Momori couldn't hear. I know, but after what you did for her in rescuing her from the wedding, along with her outright fondling you when water invaded the village, I thought you being partners was cemented. Then again, Momori's such a city girl that one look at a Bishuin and she instantly swoons with no regards for anything or anyone else. Naruto told her, with Mirai looking troubled at that. Even so, I don't mind. She countered, but Naruto shook his head. You should, since early weddings are approved by him, leading ma'am. Ori to nearly get rode by that Nukui woman, that liberator we saved Momori from. Yuki-chan told me, so keep that in mind. From what I can tell, he looks the type that doesn't like violence, so he lets girls like Charlotte pull those stunts in his stead. Long story short, I don't trust Hiragi Akira, and we still watch out for him. You can believe that, Naruto pointed out, with Mirai frowned in realization and nodding as Naruto walked away. Besides, we need to find your partner, right? Quote ellipsis quote. Flashback, battlefield, some time ago. The sound of metal stabbing flesh was heard within the room that Naruto's target, Shinmudai, was holed up in, with Shin himself gurgling up blood from his mouth after Naruto jabbed his hidden blade into his side, fatally stabbing an organ. Finally, last words, as to the reason you're causing this chaos. Also, the name of the person supplying you would be nice too. Something nice for you to do for a chance to go to heaven since you're already dead. Naruto hissed as he slowly twisted his hidden blade. How dare you do this to me, you blood traitor? Shinmudai snarled before throwing up more blood. Blood traitor? Me? Naruto asked with a raised eyebrow. You're Japanese. Like me. You should be aiding me, not killing the only hope for our great nation. The Americans must pay for killing us. In a war Japan has started, but who knows who struck first, and frankly, I don't care. There's been enough killing, and you won't be the first to get removed from the gene pool, so you can go to hell. With that, Naruto snapped Shinmudai's neck and threw him out the window. Mission come, Datbeo, Naruto said as he jumped onto the roof using his grapple hook. Before he could leave, he heard the sounds of anguished cries from the terrorist faction at their leader being killed. With Naruto looking over before throwing an explosive seal at them, killing them. He then jumped from rooftop to rooftop in the direction of the extraction point where he get picked up via plane by using his iDroid profiler. He was a mile out until he skidded to a halt upon a sight that had him boiling with rage. It was bad enough that the now destroyed town was a city of death. But it was even worse to see the same soldiers working for Shinmudai taking advantage of the chaos by gang-rapping a girl in an alley, which he came across. His eyes burning red with slits, Naruto jumped down and strode over to the despicable scene, where one of the rapists noticed him coming. Back off, buddy, we found her first. Find your own bitch to fuck. As the rapist laughed, he failed to hear the sound of the blonde's hidden blade being drawn before it was stabbed into his temple with brutal force, drawing attention to himself now. Die. Back to the present, Mermaid Island, Torino Village, nighttime. Naruto. Naruto opened his eyes and blinked to find S shaking him awake. S-chan. What's wrong? He mumbled, moving to look at her while being careful. Not to wake Yukikaze and Kagaya who was sleeping with him. I'm finished my rounds around the village, but Momori-san is gone, and I just saw Mirai-san running into the forest. Ise told him, with Naruto looking concerned. Let's go see what's going on then, Naruto summoned a Kage Bunshin and used Kawarimi to switch places with it. The clone didn't mind as it settled into its new position and hanged into a plushy teddy fox for Yukikaze and Kagaya to hold, just as Naruto and Ise jumped out of the window to pursue Mirai and Momori. As they flew through the air, S suddenly shifted into her arms form by herself and attached herself to Naruto's back, with Naruto thinking that she picked that up from watching Lady in action with themselves being both Liberators and X-Stars at the same time. Liberators wielding X-Stars, and Liberators who are also X-Stars and vice versa. I wonder if they're the difference between the A-virus and V-virus. Could I be delivering a vaccinated version of the V-virus to those I've bonded with? Naruto wondered to himself. His mind raced through the possibilities as he hopped through the trees, wondered if he has the ability to turn into a weapon. If that's the case, then he hopes not. The last thing he needed was a girl. Jerking him off in full view of other females would be bad for his health on two fronts. Thankfully, he was spared from thinking about it further as he arrived at a clear, where he found Mirai wielding Momori in her arm form. Mirai, what the hell is happening to her? Naruto thought as he saw Mirai rooted on the spot, shaking uncontrollably. Her face twisted with discomfort. This looks like Naruto-san. Mirai is caught in an illusion, and there's one person who capable of it. Miranda S commented with her eyes appearing in Naruto's vision. I see her. And she has the same uniform as Charlotte's number 2, Ainge. Naruto noted as he unsheathed S from his back. Just what is she seeing that's got her frozen up? Kurama wondered, seeing through Naruto's eyes to looking through the illusion, causing Naruto to see it too. What they saw made Naruto's anger pike and his blood boiling. Flashback, battlefield, some time ago. Back off, buddy, we found her first. Find your own bitch to fuck. Ha ha ha. Too bad we couldn't get her friend, but this bitch's vow tits makes up for it. Her mouth is to die for. Let me get a turn. I'm backed up here. Shink. Gleeful laughter turned into cries of terror as an unknown assailant jabbed a blade into the cranium of one of their friends and brutally snapped his neck. Die. Naruto hissed demonically, his eyes demonic red as he lashed out with his hidden blade. As the cowards ran away at that, Naruto turned to the victim, a blonde girl with short hair and tan skin and wearing a tight combat suit with no life in her eyes and covered with semen, and summoned a shadow clone to keep an eye on her. Turning back to the runners, the blonde Uzumaki used her eyes to catch up with the remaining 3 rapists and executed them with cold efficiency. The first guy's head was brutally yanked off by Naruto's rope launcher, with the force being caused by Naruto propelling himself toward them. The second opened fire with his assault rifle, with Naruto using the rope launcher to redirect the hail of bullet fire to his friend, who finally fell from a bullet to the head. The second guy was shocked until he thought no more when Naruto drilled a Rasengan into his head, causing it to explode. Yet more filthy humans eliminated from the gene pool. They get to deal with the Shinigami now, Kurama said as Naruto retracted his hidden blade. Naruto didn't say anything as he whipped out his iDroid profiler and tapped a few buttons to call in his extraction. Roger that, Kitsune. En route to LZ. He returned to the girl, who was cleaned up by the shadow clone that dispelled when he got near. He picked the girl up bridal style and gave her a once-over until she started to struggle once the light returned from the eyes. Easy, easy there, you're okay. I'm not going to hurt you. I'm going to get you out of here. Hold on, Naruto shouted and used the rope launcher to land on the roof. Why does shit like this always happen to women in war zones? Quote, rolling his eyes, Naruto put the girl on his back in a fireman's carry position. A helicopter came into view from the horizon. This is Mac, on station at LZ. On my way. Naruto jumped from rooftop to rooftop until he got to the landing zone where the helicopter was waiting with the door open. He quickly jumped up and crawled into the copter, quickly setting the girl down before slipping on a lap belt as the helicopter took off. Gaining altitude. Quote, the girl crawled over to Naruto's side and watched along with him as the helicopter left the field of operations, with Naruto looking at her before recognizing her. I saw you before. You were the one laying waste to those tanks with a high-powered armor and a sword. What happened to them? Never mind. I shouldn't ask that after what you've been through. Once you get a checkup, I'll take you anywhere you want to go. Naruto assured the girl and put a gentle hand on her shoulder. You're going to be fine. That didn't stop the tears from flowing, as the girl pondered the fate of her exotic bluette partner that was taken away. Back to the present. How do you like my mental attacks? Now rot away in living hell as I soil you from head to toe. The girl named Miranda was cut off from her boasting as she was kicked in the face and into a tree. Not before her damaging her arm. You and that bitch Charlotte sicken me. Naruto snarled as he made himself known. The fact that she goes behind your leader's back to do these things shows that you don't have what it takes to return to society. You, Miranda shouted before firing beams at light. Before they made contact, the beams of lights were redirected as the tips of the wings of the arms were cut off. With Mirai walking up to Naruto. She broke out of my mental attack. But how? Miranda cried as Mirai stood next to her fellow blonde with her lip bleeding. The hell you sub. JECTED me too. Is nothing compared to the real hell I've experienced, Mirai sneered with a twisted smile. You, what are you? Miranda stammered, stepping back as Naruto and Mirai began walking towards her. Both of us have experienced the hell this world has to offer. It's nothing that you or the rest of Water could relate to. Naruto said eerily with a bloodthirsty look in his now red-slitted eyes. Miranda gasped in horror and fired off red laser to protect herself, but the two blonde fighters cut them away. You cut through my attack. How? What are you two? You and those saw it in fear, but idiotically dropped her guard. Secret fusion ninja art. Mirai strike. Mirai leapt forward with Naruto kicking the soles of her feet, giving her an added boost as she slashed at Miranda and he. R-arm multiple times with a sleeping Mirai, with Naruto shooting himself forward to land the finishing blow in the form of him launching an omnidirectional slash in rapid succession with such intensity. Yagayu Shinkage. Ryu. The second blade, Phantom Moon. Miranda screamed as her arm broke apart and was engulfed in its explosion that reached beyond the treetops. Mirai-chan, head back with Mamori. I'll deliver these two back to the Vesta personally after I deal with them. Naruto said, gesturing to the unconscious Miranda and her X-Star partner. Right away, Mirai was about to turn to walk back to the village when she was spun around and kissed deeply by her fellow blonde, surprising her but accepted it, whining when he pulled away. I saw what illusion that Four Eyes put you in. Are you going to be okay? Naruto questioned with concern and caressed her cheek. Hi. It was nothing. It didn't break me. I'm stronger after what happened back then, and it will never happen again. Because. Mirai trailed off. Because. Naruto prodded, with Mirai producing a genuine smile. I have you in my life. Mirai finished and turned to walk back to the village, returning Mamori to her human form to easily carry her sleeping form bridal style. She's lucky to be, Kurama noted before continuing, I remember her wanting to jump your Uzumaki bones in thanks for saving her life, but you stood strong and kept her from doing so. Probably it's because of finished that horrific travesty of a game, Rise to Hell, Retribution, before the mission, which did a horrible job in portraying women. What self-respecting woman would have? Duly noted. Now show these two bitches why Uzumaki pranks show how humility is the twin of humiliation. Quote, with pleasure, Naruto said as he Ned an orange briefcase from a scroll and held it up. Vesta. The next day, what happened? No idea. A crowd of girls were gathered around the monument into the main courtyard where Miranda and her X-Star partner were tied up. Upon closer inspection, the girls failed to rein in their laughter at the state of the two members of Ritter. Both Miranda and her partner were covered in sticky residue that was covered by feather, complete with a beak, giving them the appearance of them being dressed like chickens, with their boobs the only part of them being spared. Expect for a message written on them. If I can do this at one of Charlotte's personal grunts, imagine what I can do to the rest of Water. Note that this is only the tip of the iceberg of what an Uzumaki like myself is capable of. Target my friends or the village again, and I will burn the castle to the ground. Believe that. Uzumaki Naruto, the Demon Lord. P.S. To Charlotte, your days are numbered. Tick-tock, tick-tock. Watching from a nearby elevated position was Naruto, with S in her arm form on his back. Smirking at his handiwork, he left the Vesta in high spirits. And was it him, or was that a scream of rage he heard when he left? Oh well, Naruto-san, am I correct to assume that you have a past with Mirai-san, given your words during the fight? Quote, I do, and our friendship remains strong to this day. Dead or alive group tournament. Some time ago. Well, this is just wonderful. The group team tournament was starting soon, and Naruto had 3 members on his team. Well, 2 now, thanks to K. Atsuragi going roll on the day of the tournament, and now his team was down a man. Well, a girl. What do we do now? Maybe you can use that cool ninja trick to summon Naruto. Naruto turned to his 2 teammates with deadpan stares. Marie Rose rating. Lolita. The Red Rose of Blood. Hinoka. Rating. Excitable. The busty mimicry fighter. Not happening. Don't want to risk a disqualification if she accidentally dispels. What are we going to do? Marie Rose demanded with impatience. If we don't get a new teammate in the next minute, we're doomed. I know that, Yalil, Opai Loli Datbeo. Naruto yelled at her, white-eyed. Please, calm down. Hinoka chided her arguing friends before noticing someone behind her. Is there a spot open? Hinoka blinked at the school uniform wearing tan blonde Amazon before her and smiled. Yes, you'll do perfectly. Welcome to the team. Mermaid Island, Torino Village. An alarm buzzed from the iDroid profiler, with a fist coming down on it before stopping and lightly tapped it. Shutting it up, Naruto groaned as he tried to get off, but was impeded by his girls. Yukikaze, Kagaya, and S each holding onto one of his limbs and still snoozing away, with the blondes struggling making them tighten their grips on him. Sighing, Naruto made a shadow clone and substituted himself with it, with the shadow clone once again hanging into a large plushy teddy fox, allowing Naruto to stretch. Change into a red hoodie vest over an orange sleeveless shirt and black long shorts, and jump out the window and landed on the ground. Arriving at the beach, he redded his hoodie and shirt to begin his early workout routine to keep up this strength so it wouldn't fade away, something that he does every single day in order. First he warmed up his body with calisthenics for 10 minutes, and finished up with 100 jumping jacks before executing a workout routine he got from a popular web manga that was still ongoing, the One Punch Man workout. 100 push-ups, 100 sit-ups, 100 squats, and running 10 kilometers around the island. It was something that wished he did back then he was in Konoha. Eating mostly ramen all the time causing him to last 25 reps on the exercises he did, with Kurama using chakra to assist in keeping Naruto's body in shape. After Naruto left Konoha and went into the employ of the Mugen Tenshin clan as Kasumi Hime's bodyguard, he was sometimes called in by Hayabasa Ryu to help out in his curio ship, giving Naruto first taste of the big city, with cool manga being one of the things he discovered. When Kasumi, not Shigeru Kasumi, saw Naruto eating only ramen, she, along with the help of Hayate, Ryu, and Ayane, all downright forced Naruto to eat different foods. Naruto was of course resistive first, but had no choice in the matter, as Kurama threatened to make Naruto hurl up his next ramen meal. But in the end, Naruto happened to enjoy the experience at trying out different things, and while ramen would remain close to his heart, Naruto does want this body to become stronger to survive the new world he's in. And it turned out great. After cooling down his body with yoga and Pilates, Naruto worked out the kinks in his body before channeling chakra to his feet to walk on water. The walk then turned into a run until he got close to the shield. Alright, Kurama, ready. 5 more minutes, Kurama. Okay, fine, geez Kit. Quote, Naruto's hand was then coated with his and Kurama's chakra before lightly tapping the shield, causing the chakra to travel up and through it before disappearing. This is gonna suck. Naruto aimed before striking his hand out and made contact with the shield, and gritted his teeth as the feedback stung his arm. Meanwhile, the chakra flowed upwards again, this time without disappearing, and traveled upwards until it enveloped the shield. Then, Naruto punched the shield, causing a rippling effect that caused Naruto's arm to be electrocuted, but he kept his hand on the shield for a minute before withdrawing his hand. Ow! Naruto groaned and shook his arm out. Suck it up, Kit. Thanks to that little stunt, we've found a weak point in the shield. But, Kurama trailed off, sensing something interesting. It's been exploited, time and time again. Like someone's been leaving in and out of the island. And I think I know who it is, Naruto said thoughtfully as he turned around and walked back to the island. Regardless, we know where it is. You can investigate it later. Your harem come first. Too bad why chance for a morning wake-up call, if you know what I mean. Kurama said knowingly with a mental wink after Naruto entered the location into his iDroid profiler. One of these days, I'm going to punch you in the snout you pervert. Naruto said with a shaking fist. Touché, opie lover. Fuzzball tilde. Quote, I was kidding, but you do have that fetish, even if you don't admit it, but I digress. Seriously Kit, head back to the village. We can't take the chance that Charlotte will act stupid again. Quote, you're not wrong about that. Something tell me that Charlotte defying Akira is on purpose. Guess that she has bad experience with guys or something, as if she was either betrayed, rode, or something else. Either way, it's no excuse for causing others to suffer. But I do hold out the hope that she's redeemable. Why'd I bother? Naruto sighed as he cut the connection. Sure, Charlotte looks nice and has a killer body, but first impressions are very important, and Charlotte absolutely failed on that front. She wasn't the first, and she won't be the last. Better get back to the others before they wake up, he mused as he put his shirt and hoodie vest back on. He was about to enter the forest when something caught this eye on the beach. Turning, he jumped in. Oh, the trees, and hopped on the branches until he saw that something was two women making out near the rocks. Naruto smirked and shook his head as he stood up. Nothing wrong with that being a thing. Minds me of Asuka-chan and Homura-chan in the alley when they thought no one was looking. Hell, he even kept a picture of that tender moment between them. Not for any nefarious reason, but because it was such a tender moment of breaking down the barriers between good and evil. Not that there was a barrier to begin with, since it was constructed with hypocrisy and lies thanks to the higher-ups on both sides of the coin. A fact that sickened Naruto to no end. And once he gets off the island and establishes his mother base, he will nip that problem in the bud, permanently. Why don't you stay a while? Naruto flinched when he was turning away, and turned back to the couples making suddenly entered X-rated territory when the bluette began fingering the redhead, making her moan out in pleasure. That's right, I'm talking to you, Blondie. Naruto realized that the bluette was talking to him, just as her partner finally cried out and transformed into a large sword with kanji engraved. With a back-to-back golden crescent moon hilt. Cruel sword, the blade of fury. The bluette cited, twirling the sword around that caused fire and ice to materialize. Yatilda, so nice to finally meet you, Uzumaki Namikaze Naruto. Excuse me, but I don't believe we had the pleasure of meeting. But I do have the distinct feeling that you're with Warder Datbeo. Naruto remarked with an eye closed. Well, that depends on you in the next few minutes now, won't it? The bluette said teasingly with a sadistic edge in her voice, making Naruto frown at that. What do you mean by that? He questioned and jumped down to the ground. It's exactly what it means. Our fates are in your hands depending on the outcome. But where are my manners? Since you introduced yourself, I shall do the same. I am Esdeath Pardas, General of Warder. Esdeath Pardas type. Liberator rating. Sadist Ice Queen. At your service. And your X-Star partner? Naruto asked, nodding towards the arm. Just like me and you, strong. Strong enough to survive in this cruel world. And in this world, there's only one law. The strong survive and the weak die. Surely you agree, Esdeath offered as they started walking sideways towards the beach. Sorry to disappoint you, love, but I do. And something tells me that isn't your personal creed you came up with yourself. You're right, they were my father's, and I live by that philosophy. Why shouldn't I? Everyone in the world is weak, except for a select few of us. Despite that, the select few that are not us are still weak. That's why the strong exist, to cull them out. Ath stated as they finally stopped on the beach. I'm sure that worked out so well for you and your old man. You know what the world does to people like you and him. They deploy antibodies, like me to protect those defenseless weaklings from people like you. And trust me, I'm very good at that. Naruto replied coolly with a cold look in his now blue-slitted eye. Then show me, tell me your philosophy, and I'll show you how pathetic it is compared to mine. Esdeath boasted, pointing blade of fury at the blonde Uzumaki and walked toward him. Okay then, since you're so eager, shall we dance? Naruto asked with a mock bow and a grin. With pleasure. Esdeath rushed forward to attack and took several swipes at Naruto, dodged, but either got singed or chilled by the trails of fire and ice. He shrugged it off and connected with a rushing shoulder tackle that knocked her back. The Ice Queen was about to re-engage when a trio of blades circled around her and attacked her, forcing her to swipe them away until they sheathed themselves on Naruto. Stop leaving without us, Naruto Dono. We're your blades, here to follow you wherever you go, that we are. Yukikaze, scolded with her arm form, Snowy Wind, sheathed to Naruto's side, especially when someone like Esdeath is targeting you now. Kagaya said angrily with her arm form sheathed across Naruto's lower back. We're bonded together, so we're with you no matter what. S added with her arm form sheathed on Naruto's back. I appreciate that, from all of you. Just know that I was coming back to the village after my morning workout as usual. Plus, it feels like a crime to wake up 3 peacefully sleeping beauties. Naruto said with a gentle smile, making them blush in his vision. How did you know to find me? We sensed it and woke up. You were in trouble, so we're here. S explained with Yukikaze and Kagaya agreeing. Now that is interesting. For them to transform themselves into arms without their partner and attack me while aware. How is that done? Esdeath asked, licking her lips while looking interested. "Through the power of my bond with them. Something that you will experience firsthand, Datbeo. Naruto, Yukikaze, Kagaya. And E's verses. S death and unknown, let the battle begin. Q you don't know me from Madworld." Naruto and S-Death engaged, with her cruel sword clashing with snowy wind. S-Death slipped through the deadlock to cut into Naruto, but he moved while summoning his gun sheath from a scroll and roundhouse kicked her sword. S-Death growled and swiped down with a trail of ice following, but clashed with Naruto's guard impact, causing her to be stunned, leaving her open to several Iijutsu strikes that ended with a kick to the side of her head. He didn't get all of it due to her leaned back, causing less of an impact, and countered with a horizontal swipe, cutting Naruto's cheek. Naruto shook it off and kicked her back. "Naruto-san, use me." The Goshiki Zankintu Colossal Blade Type 5. Kagaya told him, making him freeze. "The what?" he asked while sweat dropping. "What? I like the name. It suits my form." Kagaya replied giddy while bouncing on her feet. "Vow Crystal Seal Blade, Murakumo." S simply said before deadpanning, "Duck." Quote, Naruto blinked before doing what he was told, allow him to dodge S-Death's decapitating strike and delivered several capoeira-style tornado kicks that she blocked except for the last, which was a flip kick that stunned her. He sheathed Snowy Wind and dual-wielded the now named Colossal Blade and Murakumo. Noting the detachable sickles on the Colossal Blade, he channeled Wind Chakra to enhance them and swung the Colossal Blade to throw the crescent sickle blades at S-Death, who summoned an ice wall to block them. But thanks to the Wind Chakra in the sickles, the pair of blades went through the ice and cut her up badly, making her grit her teeth in pain, and prepared for Naruto to kick his way through her barrier, in which she prepared to freeze him in his arms unexpectedly on the spotland, until she was attacked from behind and slammed through her own ice wall and into a tree, sprawling off it. What was that? She wondered as she shook the cobwebs out of her head, and remembered seeing an orange flash she dismissed through her ice wall. She got up in time as Naruto bared down on her. Her first Fei W sword strikes caused Naruto to take a few steps back, but he flipped back, his foot catching her chin when she pushed forward, just as the ground shook. Naruto frowned at that and tried to sense where it was coming from, but was interrupted by S-Death's fire and ice wave that barely dodged. "Time to wrap this up," he muttered, not interested in a prolonged fight and looking to investigate the disturbance when he was pierced by an ice shard to his heart. "All too easy. Perhaps you're not as strong as you portray yourself to be," S-Death said before seeing Naruto fade away. Impressive. Recognizing the technique from his fight with Seijima, she spun around, leaving a trail of fire and deflected Naruto's residual moon. "Most impressive," she praised with glee, with another lick of her lips and unleashed more ice shards wreathed in flames. Backflipping to avoid the bluette's hail of flaming ice shards, he jumped and fired a chakra chain to a tree and swung around to the gain Moan Ntum and propelled himself towards S-Death while spinning at high speeds with Colossal Blade and Murakumo for the Phantom Moon technique, a technique S-Death also knows from spying on him, unknown ST to him. "Nice try," S-Death taunted and conjured up an extra thick ice wall that Naruto slammed into, causing her to smirk at that. That smirk was soon swiped from her face as multiple Narutos vaulted the ice wall to swarm her. Catching her off guard, she fired ice shards to counter, but there were too many as they closed in on her and used Great Clone Explosion that knocked her off her feet, with the real Naruto leap to her position. They attacked with multiple sword clashes as they fell, with Naruto gaining the advantage and used both of his arms to send S-Death to the ground. Put them on his back, Naruto prepared Snowy Wind, now charged with chi energy, for the finishing blow. S-Death managed to recover enough to fire off a massive ice wave, with Naruto responding with a Iijutsu Strict E filled with his chakra and Yukikaze's Kai to cut through her attack and connect with S-Death, who cried out as she was hit with a bombardment of energy that lifted her off her feet and went flying out several trees before landing in a heap, with her partner turning back into her human form and also landed in a heap. "That was one hell of an introduction," Naruto commented and walked towards Hi's defeated opponent as his arms returned to their human forms. Finish. Battle music fade out. "What do you mean?" Kagaya questioned as they got near S-Death. "You do not surely know someone, until you fight them. In other words, fighting is another way to get to know people." Naruto replied as he hopped close to Esdeath's position. And what did Esdeath convey? Asked with a tilt of her head as Naruto arrived. That she doesn't believe in her father's philosophy. Isn't that right, Esdeath? Naruto asked, bending down to her level as she laughed. The strong survive and the weak die. It worked out so well for him when he was under the employ of the Yakuza. It made him into an uncontrollable arrogant murderer, which got him killed by the same Yakuza group he was working for. After his death, I strayed away from that path because there was no meaning in killing the weak. The strong and the weak are worlds apart, and it should stay that way. Esdeath explained as she got up with her partner. You made no idea how true that is. People rather get on with their lives and not be bothered with people with powers ruining their day. As a ninja, I know the truth all too well. That's Hi, there's no room for that age-old law of the jungle, don't you agree? Naruto said, with his hand up to keep Yukikaze, and Kagaya from getting in a defensive formation around him. I'm glad you feel that way. And I'm also glad that you didn't hold back during our fight. You've come a long way since you arrived and defeated Miyasato, Kuzumi, Seijima, Shiger, and Charlotte. Adding to the fact that Hiragi Akira is barely doing anything to keep his Ritter in check, and someone like Charlotte is over me, I believe that it's time for a change in scenery, isn't that right, Nobuna? Exactly, Esdeath's partner said as she worked out the clinks in her body. Sheesh, every girl I'm meeting like Esdeath AMD Nobuna got a big chest that Grandma Tsunade would feel proud while the other Kunoichi would envy, Naruto thought with a small smirk. Not only that kit, but check out the abs on her. Kurama agreed while reopening the connection. I am Oda Nobunaga, pleased to meet you. You may call me Nobuna for short. Oda Nobunaga, type. Liberator X-star rating, Crimson. Hunter of the Crimson Armor. I asked if you were part of Warder, and you responded, depends on me in the next few minutes. Does that mean that you want to throw in with my group? Naruto guessed, with Yukikaze and Kagaya looking surprised at this. Face remained stoic and neutral. Of course, you're a man of action. And feel more reliable than Hiragi Akira. Add to the fact that you're a demon lord and have defeated many high-profile members of Warder, you've proven yourself worthy of this Ice Queen and cruel sword. Now the question is, Esdeath trailed off, leaning towards Naruto. Do you want us? Nobuna finished for her, also leaning in. You don't need to show me your cleavages to entice me. I was going to say yes anyway. Naruto yelled, flustered and waving his hands as his pants felt tight. You rang. Quote, no I didn't, Naruto yelled at his crotch. While Esdeath giggled at that while Yukikaze, Kagaya, and Nobuna sweat dropped at the blonde's antics, she eyed Naruto's package, with a bit of hunger in her eyes. Torino Village, a while later. Why? Maifeng stammered in fear, her legs shaking. Why what? Naruto asked innocently with a smile. Why is the general of Warder here? Maifeng screamed, pointing at her behind Naruto. Do I know you? Esdeath asked curiously, looking at Maifeng closely. See crap. Maifeng muttered and turned her head to side, whistling innocently. Now that I think about it, you do look familiar, Esdeath stressed, leaning into a sweating Maifeng. Come on Esdeath, leave her alone. Naruto deadpanned, pulling her back by the shoulder. It doesn't matter if she is recognizable to you or the rest of Warder. She's just a jack of all trades cheapscat. Looking to make a quick buck thanks to the chaos. Why do you have to be so mean about that? Maifeng whined with a cloud of depression over her. Where are Mirai-chan and Momori? I don't sense them here. Naruto noted as he looked around. They went out to harvest mushrooms. It's been quite a while. Kazumi replied as she came up to the group. Do you think they're okay? There's no need to worry. Mirai's with Momori, Maifeng assured the owner of Torino Inn. Mushrooms? Naruto questioned with a raised eyebrow. Who knows? Maybe they'll get themselves a big game. What kind of big game do you get in a mushroom hunt? Maifeng wondered with dismissal. Naruto's eye twitched at that, and was about to respond when he remembered that there was an earthquake-like tremor during his fight with Esdeath. He became worried, just when they all heard a loud sound north of the village. What was that? Yukikaze asked as they looked around. The ground then started to shake, putting them on full alert. Until a shadow loomed over one of the buildings, followed by a huge head with a miserable-looking face, causing everyone to freak out. What is that? Maifeng yelled as Kazumi held onto Maifeng from behind. First girls transforming into weapons and now giants datbao. Naruto yelled, pointing at the huge girl. That's a big chick. She's got bigger tits than the other girls on the island now, Kurama chortled home. Hey Tilda. Upon closer inspection, they saw that Momori, Mirei, and even Shigeru Kasumi on the giant girl's shoulders. Looks like they caught themselves a big game instead. Nobuna joked and nudged Naruto, who groaned. Then he saw that the poor girl was naked and averted his eyes. A while later, the rest of the residents of Torino village were gathered outside and marveled at the giant girl, whom they learned that her name was Minimi Nimi, making Naruto wonder what her parents were thinking when they named her. General, what are you doing here? Kasumi questioned Esdeath, who looked at her with boredom. I got tired being under Charlotte, and Warder isn't getting anywhere with convincing the so-called Watchers that we can live in society, Sanabuna-chan. And I decided on a fresh start with the Mao, Naruto. After all he's done, I feel that he's the only hope we have at getting off this island. Esdeath replied with a grin, but don't worry. I'll be with Warder as their liaison. But following Naruto around, not Hiragi Akira, but the governor, Kasumi started to say, but Esdeath stopped her by raising her hand. What governor? The same Gouv, RNEUR that allows someone like Charlotte to run amok and creates an oppressive environment for the other girls. The same governor who preaches the same crap day in and day out with no evidence of progress. He may have everyone fooled, but not us, Nobuna stated, causing Kasumi to frown at that. How can you say that? He's doing everything he can, Kasumi protested in a sharp tone, but was silenced with a glare. We know results aren't instant, but like Nobuna-chan said, there's no evidence of progress after all this time. There's also the secret he's hiding from you and everyone else, a secret that he doesn't know that we know, and his secret makes him one naive hypocrite. Esdeath said roughly with a dangerous glint on her eye. Why you? Cut the chatter, girls. We'll worry about the dear governor and his alleged hypocrisy later. Right now, Nimi-chan needs our help where Warder seemingly can't since she's here, Naruto said loudly, cutting off any beginnings of an argument. Mi clicked her teeth with Esdeath throwing her a killer grin as Kazumi walked up to Nimi. I see, I understand. If that's the case, you can stay with me for a bit, she decided happily. Thank you, Kasumi said gratefully. Don't mention it. This place is for any girl who can't or doesn't want to be in the castle. Kazumi reminded her cheerfully before turning to Nimi. So, Nimi-san, right? Why yes. The giant girl named Nimi responded. My name is Kazumi Torino, the manager here. You can call me Oni-chan. Oh, okay, Oni-chan. Well then, we should find you something to wear. You look pretty like that. But we don't want you catching a cold. Oh, yes Tilda. Do we even have a big enough sheet? Naruto wondered aloud as Yukikaze and Ise went to go get one. Still, I wonder what her story is. She looks familiar. Could she be one of the transfers before Naruto, Mirei, and Shouju arrived? Esdeath thought, her eyes focused on Nimi. Soon, a giant white sheet was brought out. While it was big, it wasn't big enough for Nimi to wrap around her body like a towel. Where did you find this? Kasumi asked Kazumi. Well, Kazumi trailed off and looked at Maifeng, who rapidly shook her head and made an X sign, drawing Kasumi's attention, causing her to turn her head to the side and whistle. Have we met? Kasumi questioned, looking at her closely. Why, you must be mistaken. I'm a natural-born lone wolf. I don't know anyone in the castle. Maifeng replied, waving her hands. Naruto rolled his eyes as Kagaya finished drawing parts to cut out of the sheets to make a bra and panties. Good. Now, time to cut, Kazumi said and nodded at Naruto. Naruto took out a shuriken and was about to kneel down when he stopped and shook his head. How about you two instead? Naruto said, pointing at Mirei and Momori. Us. Momori squeaked in confusion. Yes, you. It'll be good exercise for you two in the future. We all have to work on decreasing the time it takes for us to drive. The fact that there are to be no interruptions during driving may be an unspoken rule right now, but rules change on the fly, not to mention that there are those who are without reason here and outside this island. Naruto responded while holding up a finger. But I don't. Momori started to protest but Naruto cut her off. Like violence and want to fight, I know. So how about protect instead, and help people like Nimi here? Don't you think she deserves something to wear? There's nothing wrong with cutting cloth, right? Naruto deadpanned while jabbing his thumb towards poor Nimi. So get on with the smoochy smoochy. Maifeng advised impatiently. Smoochy, smoochy. The girls around them chant. Momori got flustered and looked to Mirai for help, but Mirai just smiled at her, causing her to blush. Momori-chan, please, Kazumi pleaded gently. But everyone's watching, and… Oh, enough already. Maifeng finally snapped impatiently and pushed her towards Mirai. Here. Momori landed face first in Mirai's bust and was about to apologize when she kissed her. All surprised you're still alive all this time with her in your group, Naruto. Death noted and looked at Naruto with pity. Unofficially part of the group, but yeah. But she and Mirai-chan will the ones protecting village while my ever-growing group can move freely to get things moving. Naruto replied with a shrug, and rolled his eyes when Momori shifted into her arm form from Mirai's ministrations. Be honest, Naruto, are you planning to take over Mermaid Island? Nobuna asked point blank, with Naruto being unfazed. Well, that depends on how the meeting goes with the governor of Water, won't it? Naruto shot back with a smirk. I suppose so. Keeping peace and order is one thing, but giving possible false hope to those poor girls is another thing. There's also the fact, Nobuna-chan, no, Naruto has to see that certain secret himself when the time comes. Death cut across her partner, causing her to huff. Naruto was curious, but put it in the back of his mind as he helped out Kazumi, using used thread and rope to stitch together a giant set of bra and panties before handing them to Nimi. He sweat dropped he saw that they were a little tight on her, but she was grateful out the same. Thank you very much, it's a little risque, but… I'm sorry, we didn't have enough fabric. Kazumi admitted apologetically, but what a sexy view, I wonder what her bra size would be. Maifeng wondered aloud. Goo, we're gonna be more than a single plate for her. Kagaya grumbled, with Kazumi looked confident as she rolled up her sleeve. And Yukikaze patted her fist into the palm of her hand as if remembering something. Soon after, the barrels that Yukikaze that contained curry that Kazumi cooked were empty as Nimi had her fill. Thanks you for the meal, Nimi said as he rubbed her stomach. I'm surprised it was enough to fill her. Nobuna mused, eyeing the empty barrels. Wow, watching her eat made me work up an appetite myself. Maifeng admitted, Torino-san, how about some lunch? Actually, I used up all our ingredients making the giant curry, Kazumi replied meekly, much to Maifeng and Momori's chagrin. I can go back to the castle to get some ingredients. Death whispered to Naruto, who nodded. Suddenly the ground shook as Nimi got into a seiza position, with her giant boobs dangerously close to them. Everyone, I'll repay you with work. Please, let me make up for this. Beach, a while later. You're oiling me up so well, I'm about to drive. Try to hold it back, then it'll just get better and better. What is that? A wave of water was coming towards them until it exploded out, revealing a giant girl that was Nimi, causing them to scream in terror. As for Nimi, she used her makeshift bra to capture a ton of fish. Sorry to startle you. Miyasato and Kuzumi turned to see Momori and Yukikaze running towards them. Gah, you're the demon Lerdict, pointing at Yukikaze. And proud of it, that I am. Yukikaze boasted with confidence. And you're that virgin from the other day. Kuzumi added, looking at a now huffing Momori. I'm not virgin, I'm Tokonome. Momori whined and protested, ditching work as usual. Miyasato, Kuzumi. The duo suddenly stiffened when they recognized that voice coming from behind them, and started shaking and sweating when Death made herself known. GGG General, Miyasato said fearfully as Kuzumi hid behind her. No wonder why you two are so weak, and lost to the then newbies so easily. Perhaps I should feed you to pink-haired bitch and her sluts. Death mused a bit too cheerfully, making her poor victims shake their head rapidly. You and Anko Nichan would get along so well, Naruto muttered as he watched from a nearby tree. I'm glad she's on our side now, Kurama said gratefully, with Naruto nodding as he smiled at the bluette. I would hate to imagine if she followed her father's outside archaic philosophy. Even if she did, I would turn her around, no matter what. Someone as strong as her shouldn't be possessed by the ghost of her foolish father whose philosophy got him killed. She is allowed to create her own philosophy to live by. One that will do some good. Quote, I can only hope that if there's an alternate world out there, you save Esdeath and make her your mate like you're doing here. Quote, to be honest Kurama, me too. One of many worlds in the Shattered Realms. A loud sneeze echoed through the dark bedroom, where an alternate Naruto was waking up in the middle of the night. Now who's talking about me? He wondered and rubbed his nose. What's wrong, Naruto? Sorry about that, Esdeath-chan. They say when you sneeze, someone's talking you, either in this world or another. Esdeath blinked before sneezing as well. I see what you mean. No doubt that you're one of you many girls in another world as well. Naruto mused as he turned to face her. Then that Naruto has good taste. My other self would be a fool not to join this side and test out that Uzumaki stamina. Esdeath said before they both kissed. Easy there, Ice Queen. We all still have to report to the Knoll. Kagutsu. Kai branch tomorrow while escorting the number 13 Murakumo unit. Naruto reminded her as they laid back down, with another hand resting on Naruto's shoulder. The one you're chummy with, right? She's cute. I hope your bond with her can overpower whatever program Relius Clover imprints her with. A naked Leonie said to her fellow blonde and lover. Yeah, me too. Naruto agreed and rubbed behind her ear, making her purr. If all goes well, then we'll have a new sister in our family, Esdeath whispered to herself, knowing that she was right. As she thought this, her eyes wandered to the various girls on Naruto's large bed in the Kurokami Manor, and stroking the hair of a still sleeping Kurokami Kujira, the elder sister of the head of the Kurokami family and head of the duodecim, Kurokami Madaka. Back to the main world. After Nimi caught the fish, Naruto used a fire jutsu to cook the fish with Kazumi and Nobuna's help. It interesting to Naruto that Nobuna put her bare hands in the chakra-enhanced fire that didn't harm her hands. It did the trick, as it was time to eat. I used to be a Miko, until I was shipped here. I was glad, in a sense. I was never really a fan of religion, and the priests were not really. Fans of my personality or my desire to chase a myth. Nobuna explained as she withdrew a perfectly cooked fish and ate it. A myth? Naruto questioned as Nobuna smiled. It's a secret you'll have to earn. Nobuna said playfully, making Naruto groan. Gee, I wonder what kind. Naruto thought as Esdeath once again declared dominance over Mifung, blackmailing her to H. And over the swimsuits she was admitting to sell. Without any help, Esdeath managed to deduce Mifung's identity and her double agent status, since both her personas were too similar to each other in terms of money. That and Esdeath knew from the beginning that Mifung's fest identity had fake boobs from just looking once at her. Oh yeah, she's a keeper all right. Kurama whistled as the girls hanged into her swimsuits that Mifung, voluntary, gave to them. True. Still, how did Nimi-chan turn out the way she did? Naruto thought, frowning as he closed his eyes to think, Once you open your eyes, you'll stop caring, Kurama suddenly said with a mischievous grin. What? Naruto opened his eyes and blinked as his eyes drank in the sight of the girls in their beachwear. How does this look? Does it look okay? Mamori with a modest, teal-colored sailor-like swimsuit with yellow bows. Too tight. Mirai with a skimpy black strapless bikini with a metal ring holding the top together. Oni-chan isn't tight at all. Kazumi with a frilly pink bikini that was awfully a bit loose. Sometimes, simple is the best, that it is. Yukikaze with a purple two-piece bikini with flowery designs. Quote ellipsis quote. S with a simple white school one-piece with her name on her chest. None can resist my charm. Kagaya with a strapless pink and violet two-piece bikini. As for Esdeath and Nobuna, Esdeath just took off her jacket, revealing her white bikini top, while leaving the rest of her outfit on, while Nobuna just left her samurai-esque bikini outfit on. Naruto could only say with a bleeding nose, I'm in heaven. The rest of the day was filled with the girls having fun alongside Nimi, who didn't mind everyone either hanging onto her or sliding off her body. Matagu, how relaxed they are, Kasumi said to herself. And noticed Miyasato and Kuzumi joining in on the fun. Yay, Yahoo! Them too, Kasumi growled, adjusting her glasses before focusing on Nimi, But why did Minimi-san turn out like this? Could it be a mutation of the armed virus? Or could it be an issue with a partner liberator? Heads up, 4 eyes. Naruto suddenly shouted at her, bringing her back to reality. Only to block an incoming beach volleyball with her face, knocking her to the sand. Oh, I'm sorry, are you okay? Mamori cried at her as Esdeath laughed loudly. A now peeved Kasumi managed to get up and grab the ball. Can you at least be just a little concerned? Kasumi threw the ball up as she said that and delivered a spike to the ball that sailed past the others and collided with Maifeng's face, knocking her into the water. Why? Quote, indeed, Naruto said as he took a nip of juice that he nicked from her without her knowledge. The end. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Remember to subscribe and like this video. See you in the next video.